Let's roll with our first testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I said testing. 1, 2, 3. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is BauerKillz trying to make up an Arsenal stream that went sideways last night. We'll talk about that here shortly. I think we're going to be good to go tonight, and Bauer might be a little bit sloppy. So this is going to be fun. Things happen for a reason, do they not? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be going live in under 5 minutes. Thanks for joining me, and happy Saturday. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream on a Saturday, August 28th, 2021. And yours truly has been just sitting down playing a little bit of Xbox. Yeah, when I say a little bit, I've been playing a bit today. I've been playing some Hades. I've been playing some The Ascent. And really the MVP so far of this day is my wife, because she has said, you know what, Bauer, I want you to sit down. You've been working hard. Take Saturday and enjoy yourself. And typically when my wife says that, I end up kind of just hanging out with her, the girls, and I don't always, let's say, make the most efficient use of said days when they're allocated to me, because I just quite frankly love hanging out with my kids and my wife, because that's what it's all about. But I decided, you know what, I'm gonna knock back a couple of adult beverages and enjoy my time here tonight playing some games. And I gotta give a direct shout out to my boy Swasty, who is, by the way, BauerKillz royalty here on this channel, for encouraging me to go live. I agree 100%. It's something that I wanted to do. I've got some time here tonight before we build out the rest of this studio throughout the day tomorrow to spend a couple of hours with you folks. And I'm really excited about it. I was really upset that last night things did not go off as planned. Had technical issues, technical difficulties, all that good stuff, for the first time since I started doing YouTube just under a year ago. And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with some time to just play games, hang out with you guys, and do life together. Welcome to the stream. I hope y'all are having a great weekend wherever you are. As I mentioned before, just forgive me for the bare background as we kind of, focus on getting this room built out. It's going to look a little bit different on my traditional YouTube videos that I upload and live streams as well. It might be a different angle. I'll have to swap things in and out. We got kind of some floating shelves that are coming in here, but I'm really excited to finally put some structure and some organization around my both working and studio place where I play video games, where I do my job. It is good stuff, and I'm all excited about it. I'm in the middle of playing through some Ascent, and as many of you who have been here before know, I absolutely adore this game, and it will no question end up on shortlists for Game of the Year. Keep your eyes on the Ascent, and in particular, where this ends up on shortlists for Game of the Year, because that will tell you that that publication or that journalist or whoever the source or whatever the source is objective. It is fair. It is not a shill, because this game absolutely deserves to be recognized for what it is rather than metacritically bombed through a coordinated campaign effort going on to try to bring this game down for whatever reasons. And I'm excited to show it to you guys tonight for a little bit. I'll be on here for a couple of hours. We'll see how long we can go, but I'm looking forward to it. We're going to play some Ascent tonight. I'm going to pop on Hades tonight, which is kind of a problem, and there's a reason why I didn't start this stream with Hades, because if I did, it's the only thing we would see tonight. And by the way, that would be a successful stream. Let's not get anything mixed up here. That would be a very successful stream. But what I want to do here is take a quick sip here and get right back into the Ascent, where I'm rolling through some of the main storylines, working my way up from the bottom bowels of this cyberpunk city all the way up to the top, as I can continue to carry out jobs and try to pay off my indentured contract for getting passage to this planet, and just being essentially a mercenary in a world very reminiscent to me. It's like if Judge Dredd, and I'm not talking about like the Stallone Judge Dredd, I'm talking about Dredd. Yeah, like the comics or the film, what's his name? Carl Urban. Phenomenal film. If you guys haven't seen it, if you have not seen Dredd, like, get off this stream and go buy it and just watch it. It's so good. But it's like if Dredd had a baby with the Fifth Element, and then like Blade Runner came in and was like, oh yeah, I also am going to like challenge the legitimacy of this child. Here's a paternity test. Actually, I'm the dad. It's like all three of those things going on. Just unbelievable. And from a gameplay perspective, it's like if you've ever played Dead Nation, if you're a fan of twin stick shooters, imagine the Cyberpunk 2077 that we didn't get but were promised by CD Projekt Red. And then they were like, you know, instead of making a game that's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, we're going to make it like Dead Nation. And then we're also going to kind of combine it with Diablo 3 and Contra. Yeah, Contra. Like old school Contra, okay? I mean, sold. You know, not only are you sold at that point, but you've got a development team of only 12 core people who have been able to do this. And what they've accomplished with this game is just absolutely stellar. I'm looking forward very much to checking out some of this footage and putting it into a video that I'll make on the Ascent, and kind of talking about how ridiculous it is that this game is just getting targeted with just totally unfair, completely ridiculous comparisons and reviews that are just at their very core, at their very heart, are not honest in any way, shape, or form, nor objective or truthful. And those are all things you can count on when you come to this channel, when you hang out here with BauerKillz. Very excited that you're all here. That's enough ranting and raving to start the stream. We got a few hours here tonight, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're kicking back, enjoying yourself, and thank you for your time. And let's play some Ascent. Hit up those comments, guys. I can see them popping in on the right. I got my phone up and ready to go. So far, so good with the infrastructure and the internet connection and all that good stuff. If I start to come in choppy or anything like that from the storm that rolled through, just let me know. But I think we're okay. Every test that I ran before I went live tonight seemed to tell me that those issues are long and gone. But for the 5 of you that are here now, for the many of you who will watch this later and join throughout the night, cheers from BauerKillz. We're going to start off a drinking stream tonight with the Ascent, a powerhouse Xbox exclusive. Let's do this. And let me know, by the way, if there are any issues that you guys have with my audio mix, because I just kind of, I kind of just went live, just set stuff up, didn't really tinker or sound engineer. I think it's good from where it was last time. Xcoin says, yo, how's the weather this time? LOL. Yo, Xcoin, thank you for joining as always, my man. You get a tip of the hat from BauerKillz, my friend. The weather's good today. I really should have cut the grass, but I didn't. I was just kind of like, my wife's offering me a game day. She's being really sweet. I'm going to take full advantage of it. And that's why we're here. So shout out to my wife. Love her to death. and my two girls who are having kind of a girls' night tonight so that I can kind of hang out, make up for that stream last night, and just play some games after a long week at work. Couldn't be any more blessed or fortunate. Hope you're doing well, Xcoin, and the rest of you out there. Let's shoot some things in the face at point blank range, shall we? Let's do this. I'm rolling through data storage right now, looking for data to get rid of. It's its own entire district because, as I mentioned, this is like the Fifth Element and Judge Dredd and Blade Runner met, and they were like, hey, let's build a world based off of that. Sold. I mean, you could have had, man, you could have had Uwe Boll direct a film based on that concept, and it would still be good. I just came up with one of my as rare as that I put in my videos in the intros. As rare as a legitimately good Uwe Boll film. I'm gonna have to remember that and write that down actually. So I've got like this running notepad, right? So I got like this running notepad, and guys, I'm gonna be all over the place tonight because of the bubbly. So apologies ahead of time. But I got this like little notepad on my phone, and essentially what I do is anytime I think of an idea, if I'm at work or if I'm off somewhere doing something, I just bring up this little notepad and I just write down those ideas so I can pull from them later. It's something I've learned over the last year because as I've kind of went down this path of starting my own YouTube channel and doing all this stuff, like literally everything from scratch, shooting, with the camera, the lighting, and, video editing. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Totally self-taught, all still learning. One of the things I've learned is kind of off camera and kind of outside of that logistical stuff, just the simple concept and action of taking notes and observations as they come to me, because otherwise I'll never remember them. So let me hop in here. There we go. There we go. It's called Rare As and Like Button Ideas. I just kind of got a running list of them, and I remove them when I use them, so I'm not repeating myself like crazy. Dash. As rare as a legitimately good. I know. As rare as a legitimately well-directed. There we go. As rare as a legitimately well-directed Uwe Boll film. It put Uwe Bill in there because of spell check, and I'm almost tempted to leave Uwe Bill in there because I don't respect that guy enough to use his name properly. I'm going to leave Uwe Bill in there. Hashtag Uwe Bill. As rare as a legitimately well-directed Uwe Bill. So for those of you who are here now or you watch this at some point in the future, you'll see that reference come out of the beginning in my intro for one of my videos, and you'll remember this moment when we came up with that together. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That's enough of that. Save. All right, let's shoot some stuff in the face. So I'm rolling with a ballistic weapon right now because we got human enemies that have popped in here, and I've got robot enemies as well. So I've also got I've got two ballistic weapons I'm rolling with right now. But I do have, let's take a look here. We do have an energy weapon that we can roll with. I've got an ES4 Eraser. You'll see as we switch it out here, it's just an awesome energy shotgun. My cyber deck, which is kind of the tool that you use to unlock and hack things, is not upgraded enough to get this chest. So I know at some point later, I'm going to want to come back and redo this chest, right? To open it up. A little Metroidvania style there. Same with areas in the game. As you're running through, you might come across an area like this where you can't get through unless you upgrade yourself and come back later to discover new areas. That's kind of the definition of Metroidvania. What is going on? Frank Yeager, also BauerKillz royalty, pre-day one supporter. Frank Yeager, it is always good to see you here, my man, and I am indeed back and having a drinking stream tonight, just ready to play some Ascent and some Hades and enjoy ourselves over the next couple of hours here. Thanks for joining as always, my friend. By the way, that giant rolling thing right there in the center or in the bottom right screen, this is something else I love about this game. For those of you who aren't aware of what the Ascent is and kind of what it does, it's a twin stick shooter at heart, but it's got elements of Diablo, it's got elements of Mass Effect, elements of The Division 2. And one of the things I adore about it, and this is something I always really appreciate in video games, regardless if it's a big, well-funded video game or one that comes from a small independent contractor or studio. I love when they put codexes in there to explain different things. So when we look at lore here, this is an AI and SI. AI, or artificial intelligence, is a collective name given to a slew of different automated and semi-sentient systems, ranging from simple valve control mechanisms to advanced personal imps. And of course, your imp is what's on your wrist, kind of like Fallout style, or maybe not on your wrist, but in your exoskeleton. It's kind of wired in, and it's got its own personality that's specific to you. And that's essentially what they're talking about there. And of course, that has its own entry, because this game don't mess around when it comes to the lore and making sure that the player, if they want to, because the game's open enough to be played just by people who love shooting stuff or people who want to get into the lore and the world building, which is second to none in this title. But very well written entries in here, and just an incredible codex that covers everything from enemies to bios of NPCs and manufacturers, kind of Borderlands style. You know, you might see a Malawan in here, or you might see a, some of those different types of manufacturers in the Borderlands universe. Here you see the same thing in here, but from a cyberpunk aesthetic. It's great stuff. So we've got to live for 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Ooh. All right, so these guys are also... And guys, I may die, and I'm sure I will. I'm sure that's going to happen. But we're not going to go down without a fight. And if we do, I love that the game just starts you right back where you were. No real issues. Some other games, that's to me a bit of a crutch. In this game, it makes a lot of sense, and it keeps the frustration at a minimum. It keeps you in the action. So here's a modified hand cannon that we've got rolling with a fire variant, which might be useful here, but I'm going to stick with ballistic. Let's go with our Dominator, which is a ballistic machine gun, and then I'll have that submachine gun, which I've upgraded like crazy, that Hab Defender PPW, to keep enemies at bay when they're up close and in our face. So I'm taking cover and aiming up. If you press the left trigger here, you can aim up over cover and stay in cover as well. It's a really good system. But you can't just stay in the same cover the whole time. The game just, the AI keeps you on your toes. It's just great stuff. I've died a ton in this game. Oh, there's an up close guy. Let's switch up to that sub that I've upgraded. There we go, baby. And we got Contra style, unlimited ammo. You just got to make sure you manage your reload times, and that's it. See that? And by the way, you've got different builds in the Ascent, which is what I absolutely love and adore. Let's hop into our skills here. You can see one of those is weapon handling, which, quote, determines your reload and weapon swap speed associated with the Motorix attributes. You can see I've got 17 Motorix under my right knee. Well, technically, his left knee. Okay, my left knee. But as we're looking at it, under his right knee, level 10 of 20. And so I've got 10 in there. I've got 18 in critical hit. I've got 0 in tactical sense because, guys, I got no situational awareness whatsoever. And I kind of feel like that's a good way to build my character based on how I want him to be rolling in this game. But knowing that I can just play this again and do a totally different build in the combat is that satisfying that as soon as I beat this, I'm just going to start a new game. I do hope they add a post game. That's one of the things I've heard they don't have, and it's such a shame. But this is a up to four player co-op game. I've only played it solo, but I'm salivating over what this could look like and what it will be like to play with other people, to have people specializing with different builds that are more useful at interim range, more useful from the back row, or getting up in enemies' faces, dealing out hardcore damage up front and close and personal. It's good stuff. So I got aiming in there. I've got, mostly vital signs. And then I've got a couple zeros for like balance and body battery, because you also get 2 augmentations. And then you get 2 skills that you can swap in and out. And those are based on your energy levels, how quick they reload and come back and it can be used and all that kind of stuff. How often it takes you to drain a battery to use those types of things. Just so many things to take note of. as you play this game. But at the end of the day, it is a twin stick shooter at heart with a fantastic intermediate level of mechanics and things from other RPGs that are out there playing a role, but it's not as deep as you would find in like The Witcher or what CD Projekt Red said it was going to do for Cyberpunk 2077 that they absolutely, totally, and completely failed on doing. And they took it out on this game, saying, oh, this game doesn't have the choices like Mass Effect or The Witcher or Cyberpunk. People taking out frustrations on this game based on the fact that it's not what CD Projekt Red failed to deliver, except it is that, just in a different form, and that's a twin-stick shooter with RPG elements, with the best Cyberpunk aesthetic you'll ever see in games. And I'm not a Cyberpunk fan. This game has made me one. It's unbelievable. Minute 57 seconds. Let's do it. There are my little robot spiders I picked up in one of my boss fights that are just going to attack enemies on sight. Love the music, man. Absolutely love the music. There's a shield I got. It's like a little hacky shield that protects me. It's the first time I'm actually using it. Let's get some spiders out. There we go, baby. Those particle effects are something else. And my health, of course, is that those little red bars in the bottom left. They're Mega Man coin peg looking health bars. I love the Mega Man aesthetic there. It's like a change counter or a series of coins in a cash register back in the 80s. You know? Sounds like I need to turn this down on my actual TV. I'm probably picking up double things here. That reload speed's really helping me out significantly here tonight. I'm glad certainly glad I spec'd into that on this build. Love the giblets effect. When enemies just turn into meaty bits. I call that the giblets effect. Doom Eternal, I've said millions of times. Not literally, guys, but oh, this is close. This is close. Those guys don't mess around. Oh, I'm getting low on health. Let's get behind cover here. Let's get behind cover here. I can feel my controller is getting very, 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 very heavy. Let's get those spider bots out. See if they can help us out. There we go, baby. My controller is rumbling. It's matching my beating heart. Let's pick up these red little health vials here. Property appropriation process completed. Ownership now registered to Y Corp, who just picked up your indent contract and who now you're working for. And as you continue to get better and continue to move your way through the story and side missions, you continue to roll up as a more effective merc and get to see different parts of this city that they've built, starting from the very bottom, which, as you would imagine, is just rife with murder and death and poverty and all these different things. And as you move up into that city, you start to see things changing just like you would in any incredible cyberpunk franchise or IP. Here we are again, guys, on an Arsenal stream on Saturday evening. Thank you for joining me. We're having a good time here tonight. We're going to be here for a couple of hours. We're rocking 7:30 Eastern. I'll probably be playing until around 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, and then I'm going to try and play, and I'm going to roll for 4 a.m., which I have not met in years because I'm too old. So I always tell myself, Bauer, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try for 2 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'm asleep by 11:30. Ain't going to happen tonight. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to push myself. I'll probably still fall woefully short of that 4 o'clock. I got to know my limits. But looking forward to the rest of this stream and just playing some games tonight. Xcoin, what is going on, my friend? Xcoin says Xbox One has had the same vibration system well before Sony's gimmick of a controller. And this is something I mentioned in my video, right? When I kind of, talked about my first impressions of the Xbox. I honestly didn't know if that rumble was if like the different profiles and kind of the quality of Rumble was something that's been around for a while, if that was a step up for this generation. I keep hearing from people like yourself that that is a legitimate, like, elevated version of Rumble that's been around for a while. Only noobs wouldn't know this, and that would be me, because I've never really, the last Xbox I've really played in any dedicated fashion was probably the original Xbox with friends, playing 1 and 2 Halo. Multiplayer like crazy. I played 360 here and there, but not in a dedicated way. So I've been away from the controller for a while, even though I've stayed on top of the games that come out for Xbox, and I follow the coverage and I play them, you know, kind of from a distance. This is the first time I've ever dedicatedly, as you guys know, have owned an Xbox console, and I'm starting to find out all these things that apparently both new and also for a long period of time are just such an elevated experience and so well better implemented than where I'm coming from in Sony PlayStation. And that's saying something. It's been blowing my mind a little bit. Let me just put it that way. Buffering. Well, that's not what I like to see. Yeah, hopefully that's on your end and not mine. I haven't seen anything pop up yet on the status for being not good or not clear. So, oh man, if I'm starting to have issues on this here now with this internet, because I'm rocking way faster speeds than I need to be coming through clearly, it's either going to be on the YouTube side or it's going to be on some other side. And if it does end up being on my side, somehow, some way, shape, and form, I'll upgrade our infrastructure to make sure that as I start coming to you guys regularly, I don't have to worry about whether the quality is good or not. We'll have to go to another setup. Keep me in the loop on how that's playing out. Let me look on my phone here. I think I look pretty decent so far, so good on there. And by the way, for those of you who are here, if you can, let's see. Stream keeps buffering on and off for me. I don't know. Okay. If anybody else out there is having the same issue, just follow up on Xcoin there. Let me know if that's the case. If it is, then maybe what I'll do is get the ISP that I rock out here early this week and get whatever issues figured out with the lines coming in. There shouldn't be any issues. I've not had any issues in a year except for last night, but I'm not seeing on my little status bar down here any issues or red, because last night when the storm was here and was just crushing us, we had a ton of like status notifications that internet couldn't hold up and all that good stuff. So hopefully it hangs in there. But thank you guys again for hanging out here with BauerKillz on a Saturday evening. I hope you guys are doing well. Xcoin, how's the audio between when I'm playing and shooting stuff and talking? Is that working out for you well? Let me know. Let's drop this down just a little bit. There we go. There we go. I love that they have a data storage district in this game. It makes so much sense for this cyberpunk world. Actually can't even hear the game, huh? That would help. Huh. Oh. Well. It might have helped to actually make sure that this was set up before I went live, instead of being like, hey, guys, let's do a replacement stream, and I've had a couple of brewskis. All right, this should sound better.
Don't get any ideas.
How's that sound, man?
Involved.
Oh, there we go. Let's get some health. Let's get some health.
As promised. Good.
Yeah, that should be. There it is. Yep. I didn't have it set up on my side, man, because when I shut down last night, I tinkered with the setting and I forgot to re-enable it. So good looking out, man. I had no idea that nobody could hear that the entire time. Good looking out, Xcoin, as always, my friend. Look at these server racks back here. I mean, just the amount of attention to detail that Neon Giant is, or not Neon Giant, is this Neon Giant? Yeah, this is Neon Giant. has put into every aspect of this game, from the drones flying overhead to the machines and the pistons and the way that they pump. It's just, I mean, it's like I stepped into a little pocket universe. I stepped into a little world that already existed before I started the game, and I'm just here on a virtual tourism, you know?
Interfacing with cluster NOC.
Hang on while I cut through the ice so that your Y-Corp friends can connect to the NOC.
By the way, I also love the incremental movement here. You can slowly walk or you can run, and everything in between, rather than you just run or you just walk and nothing else. I know it sounds little, but I dig it. Ooh, getting shot at level 17. We got some skill points we're going to have to distribute. I'm down with that. Let's extend this up here.
The operations data has significant gaps, but our AGI was able to cross-reference it with the information we already had, and the findings are interesting. Our board will want to discuss them before deciding how to proceed. In the meantime, you
Hit
pass
that
the
cover
test.
there and just fire
We'll
over
actively
cover.
welcome you
So
to
I'm
our
protected
party
here, just
appropriation
firing
visit.
over cover. It's such
Be
a
aware
nice
that you'll
system.
be
If you got
operating a
enemies
whole
that are
different
tall,
league going forward.
you can get critical
This is a
hits on them by
high-risk,
shooting them in the head
high-reward
like this, or you just
profession,
keep
and we
behind
expect
that
you to
cover
perform
when
at
you
the
got a
highest
bunch of
possible
enemies there,
standard at
including
all
some of
times.
those taller
We have
enemies.
updated your
And,
input rating as a
you know, you hit them
CGT
high.
operative. Enjoy the insurance
Everything
policy,
loud
and
and clear
expect to
now.
hear
You're
from us
good.
again
Thanks,
soon.
man.
Incoming SSM request from Knockhead.
Good. I set up this channel to bypass the SAGI bonds so that snotty foreign can't listen in. See, I had a pilfering algorithm piggybacking on the transfer so that I could clone the data. Just a little something I've been working on for a while
Nice.
now. Thing is, she ain't telling you half of it. There's clues in there as to why the Ascent group went
Ooh,
under.
we're learning some
Looks like
information
we're
on the
pouring
Ascent
you
group. I
guys into some
dig it.
secret mega project enough to buy a fucking planet. A lot of
I
keepers
can't
know
believe
we
this
were
game
inside
was
of that
only
same
made by 12
project,
people. I just
and
can't
they
get
also
over it. It's
paid
such high
Void
quality.
playing a few creds for
I wish I
knows
could
what.
stream this in the way that
Why
I'm
the
seeing it,
hell
guys,
would
on my
Ascent Group do
TV,
that?
which is taking full
What are they
advantage
working
of
on?
next
Why is
generation
Y-Corp
power.
so interested?
Just the color and the clarity and the lighting and the shadows and everything in between is just so
The whole
beautiful.
fort went belly up, and here we are.
This world is so unbelievably alive. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I see you guys coming in and out. Hit me with a comment. Let me know what's going on. By the way, as I pick up this achievement here called Data Miner on my PC here while I'm streaming with you guys, it popped up on my Xbox just automatically as a notification. That interconnected ecosystem, just such a pleasure and a joy to work with and operate with. Just so cool to see. I love it. I love being able to stay connected to all my games and all and my favorite hobby in the world on multiple devices in multiple locations seamlessly with no real issues outside of it. So let's take a gander here at our maps and missions. We've got a ton of side missions here. Some of these are timed, which I really appreciate. So I planted like bacteria in this like real like dank swampy type greenhouse at like the corner of the city down in the deep stink. And then it was like, yeah, come back when when it grows. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come back in an hour or whatever. Nope. Way longer than an hour. I did a ton of different side quests. I went through the main story, and then it popped up a little notification. Oh, that stuff you grew all the way back in the day. Oh yeah, that's ready now. Go collect it. And of course, it scaled to me appropriately, and it was fun. It wasn't just a simple fetch quest. It actually, was a nice time little thing. Which, look, I get isn't like the most unique thing in the world. I'm not saying that it is, but it's still nice to see in a game like this to help keep things fresh. Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday night to the Arsenal stream. This is a replacement Arsenal stream for what happened yesterday with technical issues. We've had one or two hiccups tonight, I believe, but I think that we're for the most part good to go. And we're also rocking as well a drinking stream tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, buckle yourself up. We're going to play some Ascent and we're going to play some Hades. And if there's time left over, we might play something else. But I'm pretty sure it's just going to be those two games, because as soon as Hades goes in, we're in trouble. Hades is digital crack. Havoc Slayer says, Bauer, did you lose your stuff when they announced Lost Judgment? Did I lose my stuff? Did I lose my stuff? All right, guys, we're going to stay on this page for a minute here because I got to rant and rave. Yeah. Me and my wife both lost our minds when that was announced. We were there. We saw it happening. I was working, actually. I was working during the day, and she had the TV on. And she was like, oh, let's go check this out. So we checked it out, and they announced that. And both of us, like, I stopped what I was doing. I just, like, my eyes went to it. And I was like, this is, I can't believe it. This game, which is so deserving of a sequel, actually got the sequel that it deserved, in spite of everything going against it. And not only is it getting a sequel, but it's taking that Dragon engine that was utilized and improved upon across multiple Yakuza titles. That's going to carry on the legacy and the evolution and the improvement of that Dragon cycle as the main Yakuza, or that Dragon engine as the main Yakuza series moves to a turn-based system for the foreseeable future. I mean, there's nothing else that could be a higher compliment than Ryugaga Toku's studio being like, hey, we're gonna take all of that work, the foundation of which was laid by the Yakuza series, and we're gonna give it to the Judgment spin-off series to steward. I mean, come on. So happy to see that. So yes, Hidru Styryu, I lost my mind. Oh, sorry. That was Havoc Slayer that said that. My bad, man. Thank you, Havoc Slayer, and welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you here as always. The 1080 60 FPS still looks good on YouTube. Yeah, it does, and that's why I'm kind of doing it for now. I want to do 4K 60. That's my goal. I've got the gig internet where I could do that, but I need to get a hard wire going in, and in order to do that, as part of this build out, the last thing I have to do is get someone to come in and fish the wires down and change out the outlet so I can get that direct line coming through, and then route it out from here after it kind of takes account of the wired in connection. So after tomorrow, I should have most of this built out. You'll have a different background in my videos, different stuff going on for the live streams. But I got a desk we're putting up. It's going to help me with my professional life. It's going to help me with my YouTube stuff, both live streaming and shooting videos. I'm really excited about it. The bulk of that work will be done tomorrow and Monday, and then we just got to get someone out here to get a connection in. And once that happens, we'll be totally ready and good to go. And I got a lot of good things planned right here on this channel. And I thank you all for your support. I'm just glad you're all here with a bit of a sloppy Bauer. I'm a little bit sloppy tonight, guys. And, look, it's going to buff out. We're here to have fun. Everybody has worked a hard week, I'm sure. It's a Saturday night. There's nothing wrong with kicking back and relaxing a little bit before you gear up to knock out of the park another good week of work and doing that adult life, the things you got to do, right? But again, all credit to my wife who's given me today just kind of hang out and play some games. And then tonight, after we close down the stream, I'm going to try to make a run for 4 a.m., which I haven't met in years and years and years. I'll be asleep by, let's be honest, I'll be asleep by 1 o'clock, okay? And if I make it to 1, I'll be happy because I'm old, right? I'm getting up, I'm starting to get up there now. But it's just been an awesome day, and it's just been nice to have some time to finally get this stream back out, to get back to spend some time hanging out together, guys. And Mark Lanow says, sweet. Welcome to the stream, Mark. I appreciate you joining, man. It's been good hanging out with everybody there. I like the glowing light changing in the background. Thanks, man. I got actually 4 lights going on. I got one over here, which I turned off because it was putting a glare on my face. I got one right here. And then I have another 2. One that's actually sitting on my Xbox Series Xbox because like as decent as this looks, it's still kind of ghettoed out. So just to get a better angle, I set up my Xbox Series Xbox. Instead of like displaying it in the background, I just got it holding one of those lights. But I got 2 of those lights. They're really cool. And yeah, they're hitting the background. They're each rolling on a like a fade type of thing, which is really cool. So those are also the 4 light setup that I use for YouTube, and I'm still playing around with my lighting. That's another kind of part of this thing that I'm still learning and getting better at, just like with every other aspect of this, whether it's shooting footage, whether it's editing it. I'm just learning everything. Audio, which is probably the bane of my existence here a little bit, but having a lot of fun doing it, and lighting is certainly part of that. But thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate that. All right, let's get back into this. We will play a little bit more Ascent. You guys let me know if you want to see Hades or something else, and maybe I'll hop off the Ascent. I've been playing this for a few hours, and I love it. It's so much fun. Let's take a look here and see what we got as far as our main mission is concerned. Probably going to take us back to Cluster 13. Objectives. I am sent to Onyx Void to learn exactly who and what they smuggled onto the planet. I'm definitely not going to argue with that. I actually think I need to go back to where I came from. Let's see. These are side missions. Nope, let's roll with the main missions. Yeah, let's hit this elevator and we'll go from there. We will go from there. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Hit me up, engage with me on that right-hand side of the screen. Thank you guys for your support and spending some time here with me. It's exciting, man. I love hanging out every week with you guys. It's been a blast, and I'm enjoying talking with you guys in the comments as well on my videos. Some disagreements this week as I went after Halo Infinite, deservedly so, for rushing out potentially a flagship title and a brand mascot. They can't afford to screw it up, so I hope they know what they're doing. Releasing on December 8th, man, that is...
operative. We studied
you guys know how I feel about
it. Data you sent, and it hints at some sort of ongoing interstellar transportation arrangement between the Ascent group and Onyx Void. We want to understand the details of that arrangement. Who or what were Ovi bringing onto Velez on the Ascent group's behalf? We know that Ovi is very protective of
Look at
all
that background, man.
It is being kept in a single protected desync somewhere. Your next assignment is to locate that desync and extract the info we want.
Extract the info
Should be
we want.
straightforward enough, even for a sapient such as yourself.
By the way, I've looked down, right? I've looked down at these ships and the way they pass in the bottom right or the top right of the screen right there. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure that this is just a pattern. You know, when you stop and you look around just to kind of appreciate what a developer has done and kind of how they accomplish what they're doing. I've never been able to locate patterns in this game of how the world is put together. It feels truly alive, and it really separates it from a lot of other titles that are out there. Xcoin says, Havoc Slayer says, Bauer, do you have any thoughts on the new Aliens game? I'll be honest with you, man, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Boop, 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 boop. Hold on. There we go. So, I don't, and here's why. I just assume, and this is kind of the safe play, let's be honest, this is the safe play. I just assume that any Aliens game that comes out is going to be abject and utter trash, and I just stay as far away from it as I can, unless I see it in, like, I'm going to get something at Walmart or Target, and I see it in a bargain bin somewhere for, like, literally, like, for $6, you know, with, like, the DVD of Starship Troopers, which is great, but it came out in, what, 1996? When you see it mixed in with those stuff, then maybe I'll pick it up and take it through a spin just to see, you know, whether it was worth playing or not. But I'm just so sick and tired of seeing that franchise done poorly, with the exception of, my understanding is, Alien Isolation. I played Alien Isolation very briefly, but it was too intense that I couldn't handle it. As I've gotten older, I've gotten less and less inclined towards games that, like, really, like, make my heart beat, with the exception of certain things. Like, I love Japanese horror. Like the new Fatal Frame that's coming out, or the re-release of Fatal Frame on Switch, I will absolutely be picking up. I've got a thing with ghosts, guys. You probably heard me say this on a live stream once or twice, but I actually lived and grew up, spent years in a blatantly haunted home that was like daylight, like in the middle of the day haunted type of stuff. So if you're out there and you think that that's crazy, or I have mental issues, or whatever it is that you explain it away, that's fine. I'm not preaching to anybody or talking about things, but that is certainly driven my interest in supernatural horror themed games, and I love being scared. In that case, I love waking up in the middle of the night and being like, I'm terrified. I'm going to go downstairs and play that game. You know what I mean? And I got a little bit of that with like Mr. X and Resident Evil 2. Like, I woke up one night and I just, like, my wife was coming through the door and I was coming out of sleep at the time. It was like the middle of the night. She was coming up late because she was making a cake for an event. My wife is, by the way, just incredible, like works of art. And you guys will see that on a video coming up here real soon. We're going to tie her cake and baking skills in general to something in one of my series. We'll just leave it at that. Some of you are in the know on what that's going to be, but I'm excited for that. But she was coming through the door and I woke up and I was having like literal nightmares that I was in the RPD station, like trapped, and I could hear Mr. X like stomping around. And this comes back to my deep-rooted fear of the Resident Evil series because I played it when I was 10. I watched my older brother play, and then I played his copies through it, you know, swapped out our memory cards to make sure I wasn't messing with his saves, right? But he would pick the games up for me, let him play through. And I mean, those games, man, back on PlayStation bugged me out, but that was part of the fun, man. I loved, like, you know, just being like freaked out in the middle of the night and then getting upstairs and going downstairs and playing and just like facing it, you know? But there are certain titles that just make me really uncomfortable in certain ways. And Alien Isolation was one of them. It was like the game was like that game. I could see if someone was like, yeah, I didn't have heart palpitations or a heart murmur before I played it, and I do now, I'd be like, I totally understand. I totally believe that story. Right. So it was just a little bit too intense for me. But outside of Aliens Isolation, which I heard does great, you know, a great job and handles that franchise very well, I've just been so disappointed by kind of anything Aliens that I just more or less kind of just stay away from it until way down the road when it's cheap or affordable at a budget to check it out. Unless, you know, certain people who I really respect are like, you have to play this. And even then, I would still probably put it on my backlog and get to it, quote, at some point. But great question, man. Yeah, I don't have any experience with, what is that, Fire Team? And I got my buzz on. So I can't remember Fire Team, Aliens Fire Team, something like that. I've heard it's been getting a bit crushed by fans in particular, but also by critics whose opinions, honestly, I could care less about. But I hear it's kind of like they're aligned, at least, supposedly on that one. Xcoin says, I finished Psychonauts 2 last night. One of the best games I have ever played. No joke. Xcoin, I gave you some prompts last night in the Technical Arsenal stream that went off the tracks, and that was that you're somebody whose opinions on games, or you're one of the few, man, who it just seems like it checks out, man. When I hear you talk about certain things, especially games that I'm familiar with, I'm like, this dude knows what he's talking about. So that carries some weight with me, my friend. This is something I've actually heard from a few people. I've downloaded the first Psychonauts, and I plan to play it because it's a game I've always wanted to play, but I've never played it. I've never had an Xbox. And I don't know if the original, it may have been out on PlayStation, but I thought it was an exclusive. But either way, I've never played the original, but I've got it now on Game Pass. People who have kind of been preparing for this Psychonauts 2 launch have been kind of like urging, they've put like this coordinated effort into urging people to play it even now in 2021 because it apparently holds up really well, to get ready for Psychonauts 2. And I'm just so happy to see them finally get a chance to make a sequel to a truly unique and legitimately different title that is unlike anything else that's out there. It's always good to kind of see different things like that. And for them to finally get a sequel and the way they went about and kind of how they had to wait to do it is a really cool overall story. Just an awesome part of this medium that I love from an industry standpoint. And definitely a title I'm looking forward to playing at some point here in the near future. But everyone I've heard that has played it up to this point has said it's absolutely a Game of the Year contender. And I'm sure it's better in every conceivable way than Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart, because that is as artificially against this game as critics have been, they've been in the opposite direction artificially for Ratchet and Clank, which is just a mediocre title from a gameplay perspective. It excels with graphics. The Second Planet in that might be the best looking graphics I've ever seen. I couldn't believe what I was looking at on my screen. It felt like every single pixel of this Samsung Q80T was used and utilized to its fullest extent. But outside of that, man, invisible walls everywhere. I'm moving away from what makes Ratchet and Clank great, which is really good, solid humor and platforming from a gameplay perspective. It's like 90% combat and like 10% platforming. It's just the opposite of what I hear Psychonauts is, which is fresh and unique and innovative and creative and a legitimate Game of the Year contender. Thanks for letting me know, Xcoin. I'll take it. I'll check it out. You don't have to play the first one. The second one is a really cool recap and it ties together. Yeah, man, but I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn, man. I'm stubborn. I'll definitely play the first one first. I'm sure there's call outs and Easter eggs and stuff like that. So I'll definitely make my way through the first one first. I'm glad they have that recap in there, but I'll play through the first one and then instantly go into the second one. So we got some continuity going there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop back into some Ascent, and then we'll switch over to Hades, and that's going to be a problem because I absolutely adore that game. Can't get over how good it is. Thanks for joining here tonight, guys, on an Arsenal stream. Let's continue with some Ascent. How are y'all doing out there tonight? You guys having a good weekend? What's on your plans? What's on your docket for this Saturday evening? This world is so alive. I love it. Just the hum, the sound design, man. The soundtrack. You kind of got to separate soundtrack and sound design. So here's your bad guys. So if you walk up to them or you walk past them, they'll fire on you. So you're just gonna start. Get behind the cover there. You got innocent folks who are running around, and of course you can gun down. Oh, I just got hit by a rocket from that drone. Yeah, you got to be careful with these little guys. They don't mess around. If you're aiming high like this and you get crits, those little dudes. Oh, and by the way, their equipment here, which heals stuff up, that'll heal you too. It's a nice little RTS element there. I dig it. And also, by the way, Age of Empires is something I'm starting, now that I've got an Xbox and I see that they've got a lot more PC, typically only games that are operating on Xbox Series X. I'm looking forward to trying out some of those other titles that I may not have ever otherwise played, if I had stayed on just PlayStation and Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, this guy, again, guys, this game is Dead Nation meets the cyberpunk aesthetic that CD Projekt Red promised us and just simply didn't deliver. It is utterly fantastic. I mean, the combat is so visceral, and it's so, and I know that word's overused. Oh, it's visceral. This game really is. The combat is so good, and it's so satisfying. Everything from the way your controller rumbles, with the weapons you're using, and who you're shooting, and everything that's going on there, to the way the weapons handle and feel, and the weight to them, and how you upgrade them, and your armor, and your augments, and your modifications, all the different things just play together very well to make an incredibly sound gameplay game. See how they forced me out of cover there? You can't just sit and cover the whole time. Yeah, cover is really important, but at the same time, you can't just rely on it either. We got the new enemy here with jetpacks. Level 18s. Oh man, we're getting serious now. Let's switch up to a machine gun. I didn't even think about that. There's some giblets. Look at the giblets. Love the giblet spread of just arms and legs and entrails and all that good stuff. I need to upgrade this machine gun a little bit more because it is just laying waste to fools who are weak to. So this is a little bit of the Division style. See where that says Hopeful Ambrose up there? That's a bounty, right? And you can turn them in at bartenders and different things. So you see I'm behind cover here. I'm just going to take them out from over here. Oh yeah, we also have a stasis grenade. That guy is very weak. See, ever since the last patch, they kind of re-show you these things, which is actually really timely for you folks out there who are watching the Ascent for the first time. Maybe you guys have sat here and you've seen the Ascent getting absolutely crushed on Metacritic. Don't believe it. Stay tuned to this channel. I've got a video coming that's going to cut through that BS and kind of talk about why and what is happening with the critical bombing of this game. This game will be on a number of shortlists for Game of the Year. It is fantastic in a lot of ways, and it has some issues, but it doesn't have issues like a vanilla release of, let's say, oh, I don't know, Fallout or Elder Scrolls, where every time you sit down to play a session with it, you're going to have to hit your blue screen probably 3 or 4 times, or maybe even unplug your console from the wall, but you still go back and play it, and you do it because the game is worth it. This game has nothing like that. It's got some annoyances, every once in a while, yeah, somebody won't spawn somewhere. Oh, I got to go to the boss to get this. You get to the area and they're not there. So then you reload the checkpoint and you're literally 15 seconds away from where you were before. And then, hey, the guy is there. It's really not that big of an inconvenience. But I hate that double standard of overlooking things like that for games like Ratchet and Clank as well. which was the only game that I've ever played on my PlayStation 5 since launch day that made me actually power cycle the damn system in order to get past it 3 separate times. So I got a video out there on my YouTube channel talking about why I think Ratchet & Clank is overrated, and I kind of showcase and talk about some of those things. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out after the stream or before it. But for those of you that are here, I'm so glad, man, that the technology is working tonight. Had our first real issue last night, and it's good to be back on not just a stream, but a Saturday drinking stream. And it looks like I'm going to have to go refill here real soon. But thank you guys for joining. Savage Dragoon. Serious tip of the cap, my man. What is going on? I might just start calling you Estinian because you'll understand. Or maybe I'll roll with Kane. I don't know, man. Kane would be like you're my best friend. So maybe it just has to be Estinian because we're still friends from a distance. All kidding aside, man, it's great to have you here on the stream. I appreciate you joining. Savage Dragoon says, Bauer got me to try Ascent, and I can say, not being a big fan of twin stick shooters, this game is pretty dope. I love the RPG elements the most. Absolutely, man. And I'm so glad. Listen, if one person watches my stream and says, oh, wow, this doesn't look like a 67 game, or I trust what this person is saying, and maybe I'll try it out and enjoy it, and then you go and you play it and you enjoy it, mission accomplished, dude. You know, guys, I call myself, I'm called the anti-shill, right? Anti-shill and passion personified and all that good stuff. But really, that's my goal, man, is just to be authentic with you guys. Like, I want to hang out and do life together and just, like, you know, mark out over video games together and other things, too. Because we talk about other things and games on this channel and this podcast / streaming arsenal thing that we got going on. But this game is fantastic. And would you believe this, Savage Dragoon, if people were knocking the game because the RPG elements weren't as full as they wanted it to be in like a Mass Effect or a Witcher or, you know, a Cyberpunk? They're taking their frustrations from other games that have failed to deliver, even though Mass Effect absolutely totally delivered, but people are still upset about like the way Mass Effect 3 ended and that kind of stuff. No spoilers here, but this is mostly coming more from like Cyberpunk, right? And taking those expectations and placing them on a game that was never meant to be a Cyberpunk 2077, at least from CD Projekt Red's standpoint, but are totally nailing the design and the aesthetic and being what it originally wanted to be, which was a twin stick shooter at heart with RPG elements that go deep enough to be engaging, but not so deep that you get lost in an Excel table of numbers. And can we not celebrate that? Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, is that not to me something that, am I the only one that thinks that that's an incredible thing and not a bad thing? Not something to mark down the game for? Give me a break, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Savage Dragoon, and thank you for joining the stream to talk about it. Havoc says, just finished the Quake remaster not too long ago. Such a fun and nostalgic game. Now I'm trying out Prey for the first time today. On Quake, it's an amazing game, but it's always been overshadowed for me personally by Hexen. I'm going back. I liked the later Quakes. I liked Quake 3 probably the most. Quake 2 and 3, like I got into. But the original Quake I always thought was like Hexen. Like I was a big Hexen guy at the time. But I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, man. I heard the remaster they did a really good job with. They added some new content to it, which is just, I love seeing older games come out with new content. They did that with Duke Nukem 3D's World Anniversary Tour. And to celebrate the anniversary, they brought back John St. Pierre, and or is it John St. John? Anyway, they brought back the actor for Duke Nukem, guys. It's my drinky. They brought back the actor for Duke Nukem, and they did new content for a game from 1996 in present day. I lost my mind. Totally understand where you're coming from on that, Havoc Slayer. That's awesome. I love it. Let's play a little bit more Ascent, and let's think about switching over to Hades, because listen, when I make that switch, guys, I'm making a tall ass drink here for the stream tonight, and we're gonna play through some Hades, which is, my goodness, I'm gonna have a lot to say about it. We'll hold those thoughts until we hop on to Hades. But for now, happy Saturday, as I mentioned before, and let's get back to playing some Ascent. As I was talking about a little bit earlier, a little Division 2 style system in here with bounties. We've got, because of the last patch, you know, tutorials popping up here. Certain enemies are known troublemakers, blah, blah, blah. They're the folks that are named, right? They're the folks that are named on your map as you're going out and you're fighting them. And, you know, you kill them, you pick up their bounty, and then you come back and you sell them, you know, for U-creds, which is good stuff. And these level 19 jetpack guys, they don't mess around, do they? Shoot over at this guy. There we go. There we go. Hades, some of the best art style I've seen in a game. So much charm in that game. It really is something else, man. It's not something you can really not something that you can understand until you play it. Oh, guys, I'm about to die. Oh my goodness. I'm like essentially dead here. I'm fighting level 19, guys. There we go. And when you die in this game, by the way, I love this. Watch this death screen. You get the bullet that comes through the top left of the skull there, then the right. And then one that comes like directly through the screen right at you. It's so cool. And you can skip that if you want. But I love games that take the time to make like your game over or your death screen like fun, you know, and cool and visually, you know, you got that visual flair going. So, oh no, guys, I started right here. This game's so inconvenient. I started like right back where I just was. And you, I believe, keep most of the stuff you've picked up too. So if you're a fan of like huge challenges and games and those types of things, and you look down on that kind of thing, it works for the game that this game wants to be. And the game is definitely, I've died a ton in the game, but I appreciate that it's not and that I die somewhat regularly. It gives me a good idea of where I'm standing from a build standpoint. I keep forgetting I have these spider bots too. Look at my spider bots just wreck stuff. I got to get used to using my modifications a little bit more because I really haven't used them all that much, and I need to do a better job. I definitely need to do a better job of using everything at my disposal. And I'm going the wrong way anyway, so let's go back up here. You see this upper deck up here, which you can probably never get to, but people are up there on the phone, they're drinking alcohol, they're just kind of doing their thing, hanging out, living life. The game just feels so lived in. I absolutely love it. It never gets old. It really doesn't. So we're gonna head up to High Street. So this new, this new corporation that I'm working for as this indent character. And I like these little load screens here too. You know, whether you're in a taxi cab, whether you're on a metro, whether you're on an elevator, they kind of put players in, or not players, but different NPCs in here to keep things fresh. Loading times aren't bad. If this was a truly next-gen game, there'd just be no loading times really, except for like a split second. You want to see like what next-gen loading times will look like once games finally start to be made exclusively with this new technology of the next generation consoles in mind. Look at a game like Demon's Souls, where you get just like the loading times are just gone. You'll see like a second of fog, and then you're in wherever you want to go, and you can go directly in from your XMB. It's really impressive. And I love how lootable this world is too. You can go loot all these cars. Sometimes you get a bunch of stuff like I did right there, or the time before you get nothing. But it's just fun, like, to interact with the environment here. There's a whole lot of loot to pick up. You got your reusables and your consumables that are always popping up. But it's still fun. Like it's always nice to see a little explosion of color, right? Whether it's yellow, red, or something else. It does a good job of keeping you engaged throughout. Got level 19 guys over here too, right? That's a level 20 guy. Let's get our spiders on the job, shall we? Look at them take care of business. I keep forgetting I got this barrier too that I haven't been using.
Side income opportunity.
Oh, we got a high level bounty. And that's what Ben said too. I don't have enough for a grenade yet. Let's take it out. There we go. That'll be worth a pretty penny at the bounty store. That's not a low level bounty I missed later. Let's switch up weapons here. Yeah, there we go. That's much more effective against these folks. And they got some armor shielding them up, but I'm gonna have to level up here a little bit. Let's take a look at where we're at from a skills perspective. So we've got 2 bounties here that we've picked up. Those will be nice to turn in. Let's take a look at our OGs. We also got our module slots here. Speed heal mod. Let's see. Deploys. No, that's not. Vita Science Booster, Digital Thorn. Yeah, let's stick with what we got. By the way, I mean, there are so many things in this world to open. You know, you'll see lockers all over the place when you're in here. They're all openable. Crates you just kind of run through, which is really nice. You don't have to shoot them or waste ammo otherwise. You just elevator head on down. Oh, these shield guys, they suck. Stasis grenade. That allows you to just like lay people out. I'd rather have, I think, a, there we go, switch up to that sub. I'd rather have, I think, something else. That stasis grenade I've never really sat right with me. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's cool, like, that they float and you can do extra damage with some builds or some weapon or, you know, like, whatever your loadout is, but I don't know, I just prefer, like, frag grenades. Like, I like to keep things simple. Here's a fragmentation device. I'm going to throw it. You're going to explode. Keeps things simple. Let's hop in here to our module slot. Well, actually, I have an empty module slot. Speed heal mod or digital thorn model. Let's see. A fixed percentage of melee damage gets thrown back to your attacker in digital form. I wouldn't be bad, but I don't really struggle with melee, folks, as much. Get extra health for all healing pickups and abilities. Heal faster, heal better, stay alive. Oh, gee, I wonder if that's something that we're gonna roll with. I think so. Yes. Static Fox says people say Halo can't win Game of the Year, but Forza could win Game of the Year for Microsoft. We'll have to see, man. I'll tell you what, I'm not seeing. I'm worried about Halo Infinite. I saw some things about how they're going to do their battle pass, where they're going to be working it through a progression system instead of through an XP system, which is kind of crappy because people are going to be more focused on getting like 7 needler kills or getting sniper kills while jumping. You know, so you're going to say to your friend, like, oh, yeah, let's go get the flag, right? Or whoever you're playing with, oh, let's go get the flag. We're playing capture the flag. And you're like, sorry, I need those 7 needler kills and 5 jumping sniper rifle kills. The problem with it is that they're selling XP for challenge swaps for real-world money. Oops, I just killed a totally innocent civilian. My bad. But you know, it just kind of seems to me like what they're trying to do is just monetize the ever-living hell out of the game. And I love those environmental, by the way. Those environmental explosives are so fun to use on enemies in this game. It never gets old. But yeah, depending on kind of how they approach this, you know, if they're all they're trying to do is foster straight up real world money because they're going the quote unquote free to play route. I don't know. I'm just seeing some red flags, man. I'm just seeing some red flags. I really hope it's amazing and everything people are hoping it's going to be. But we'll see. We'll see how things play out. And by the way, when they do, I'm going to be covering them right here on BauerKillz stream and channel in general. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm out. So I'm going to go make another mixed drink here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to play some more Ascent. We'll finish up this mission, and then maybe we'll hop into Hades for a little bit. We're rocking 8:15 rather, on a Saturday, August 28th, 2021. Thank you for being here. Don't go anywhere. Hit me up in those comments. I'll be responding to you as I can, and then we will come back and we'll play some games for another hour and a half or two, and then we'll go from there. Let's play some games, ladies and gentlemen, and hang out together and do life. We'll be right back. Oh no, we've lost some folks. Yeah, that's the world we live in. Instant gratification. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I'm going to order, I think Pizza Hut's got a new, well, I guess it's not new, but they had that Detroit pizza where like the sauce is on the outside with the pepperonis. I'll be honest with you, the only reason I want it is because it reminds me of it's the only like pizza from Pizza Hut that reminds me of Little Caesars pizza, where like Little Caesars pizza makes little grease bowls with the pepperoni. And this is the only pizza from Pizza Hut that does that. I guess just as part of the, the recipe, the way it's made, you get those little like the pepperonis form a little bowl, and then you get the grease that sits in them. That's good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we do that, how about you guys hit me with some questions? Engage with me. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're doing this weekend, what games you're playing, and while I order this pizza, we'll talk. Let's do it. Savage Dragoon 420 says, I'm more a plant guy, but I'm token up with you, bro. Cheers, my man. I kind of picked that up from the end of your name, man. And no worries on that, man. Enjoy it. Have fun. That's something that, in my opinion, should be legal around the country, 100% for sure. Let's see. Wow, I got like so many messages here, guys. It's ridiculous. Swasti, thank you for letting me know it's all good on your side, man. Swasti, I'm about like let me be clear, man. If you send in a message right now that says "yo," anything that comes from Swasti, I'll switch to Hades right now. Right now. I'm gonna order pizza and it's gonna be so good. 9 of your 10 viewers have left due to your terrible voice. Here's a question though, ladies and gentlemen. What are you playing right now? What are you guys playing out there? What platform are you rocking? Are you rocking PlayStation? Are you rocking Xbox? Are you rocking the Switch? Are you playing PC? Let me know in the comments what you're playing and what you're doing. Game Punisher, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. It's good to have you here, man. This is both a live stream. I call them Arsenal streams, my friend. And it's both a live stream of me playing games and just marking out over how much I like or dislike a game or somewhere in between. And also this kind of ranting and raving screen that you see with me just kind of hanging out with you guys doing life together. PizzaHut.com. There we go. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Pizza Hut. I just happen to enjoy their Detroit-style pizza. And the only reason I enjoy it is because it reminds me of another pizza company in Little Caesars. Bauer K. Oh, sorry. Game Punisher says, hey, Bauer K, first time here. First video I watched of yours was about why you switched to Xbox. I prefer Xbox, and it's refreshing to hear someone speaking objectively about gaming. Dude, thank you so much, man. Look, guys, I'm going to turn on this other light. It was like glaring in my eye, but I feel like I kind of need it because now I'm like if I'm sitting here like this and I've got to like meet the cool factor of Doc Holliday from Tombstone, that's played by the one and only Val Kilmer, and I just can't do it. So I got to put this light on to kind of like take away the pressures of that situation. So give me 1 second. Oh. All right, there we go. It's a little bit, all right, there, it's a little bit better. I'm not so stoic, right? I could also be like the Undertaker from WWE, and like I'm not even going that route. Not even going that route, ladies and gentlemen, right now. But dude, let me just look before I order this pizza. Let me look right into the camera when I say this, man. First of all, thank you for coming to the channel, dude. I really appreciate it. Each and every one of you that are out there, you have no idea how much I appreciate the fact that you guys spend 5 minutes watching a video of mine, because I got some shorter videos, or let alone the longer 20-minute ones than anybody would willingly spend their time, whether they're at home on their computer, if they're on their TV, on their mobile device or whatever, tuning in to listen to me talk about games. My mission and my goal here, man, no matter how big this channel gets, where we go together, whatever, right? If I never gain another subscriber, I'm happy. if I'm at 10 million subscribers, it's never, this is never going to change. I will be honest and I will keep things real here. That's my goal, man, is to be authentic and to kind of, I say in the beginning of all my videos, to cut through the BS that exists in this industry and really our world at large, right? I want to combat and battle, specifically in the video game industry, dishonesty and disingenuity and also shilling, because there's such a sheer huge amount of it that's going on. And really, you can't trust, the vast majority of, outlets that are out there, the journalists that are out there. It's not just in the political side of things, it's also in this industry as well. And it's nothing new. It's been here for a long time. I will never sell out for a sponsor. I will never sell out for money. I will never be anything other than objective source of truth, or at least how I feel about things. And you guys saw with my last video, I'm talking all this great stuff about Xbox, how much I love it and all that. And yet I got a video out on how badly I think they fumbled the ball with their E3 Xbox Bethesda game showcase, which it's not just an E3 showcase, guys. That's like, if you're going to say that's what the game showcase is going to be, you're going to acquire Bethesda for $8 billion, and then you're not going to talk about Fallout or Elder Scrolls or give us more information on Starfield or anything that I'm going to, yeah, that's not a good thing. Regardless of brand affiliation, regardless of personal preferences, all that stuff, I'm gonna be honest and keep it real. I really appreciate hearing that, man. That's my goal. I'm glad that resonates with you, man. That's the whole point. So thanks for the kind words there, and welcome to the stream, Game Punisher. Thrilled to have you here, man. I hope to see you around the channel in the near future. RSJ fan says, I've been playing. Oh, I got to get my phone. I dropped my phone. Let's see. So I'm streaming to you guys through XSplit, through their Gamecaster, and like the right hand side, when there are too many comments that come through, it kind of like hides them, and then when you try to scroll up, it just re-scrolls down. So I just keep someone up here on my phone to make sure that I can always see the latest and greatest and all that good stuff that's going on here. RSJ fan says, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I'm really enjoying it. And I ask this honestly, is there any real difference between that and, let's say, Odyssey, other than like maybe the hub building? I've heard wildly varying things about Assassin's Creed. I've got a very interesting story with Assassin's Creed. Sorry, I'm looking for my drink and for my my controller here. Guys, when I say I've been playing games for 32 consecutive years, I mean that. That's not like yeah, it's a tagline, but it's not like just a tagline to be a tagline. Like, of everything that's been in my life, other than my faith, the most important thing and the only real thing that has ever fully carried through from a passion or a hobby standpoint has been video games before I could really talk. And so when I talk about stuff like how I feel about Assassin's Creed, it's coming from a place of, I remember when the first Assassin's Creed was being talked about before it was released, and what they wanted to accomplish with it and how amazing the concept sounds, and then watching that be released, then going into the next series of games where you had that really promising first Assassin's Creed title on PS3, which was okay. It had issues, obviously, but it laid the foundation for what could be a great IP, because you want a promising first entry in an IP. That's what you want for a new IP. That's what you're looking for. And Assassin's Creed 2, for all intents and purposes, gameplay perspective was phenomenal. It was groundbreaking at the time, and I understand why it resonated with people. I hated Ezio with the passion of a million burning suns. And it was just his character. I just couldn't get into it. And a lot of my friends, including my boy, Mr. Yarger, who's out there somewhere, probably not tuned in, but a good old friend of mine, absolutely adored it. He said, like, if you stuck with the series and you watch kind of Ezio go from this young, brash Italian dude to this really, really, crazy, serious, very wise, older assassin. It was just an incredible transformation. I believe that was true, but I never really came back to the Assassin's Creed franchise after 2 until Black Flag, and I absolutely loved Black Flag. I thought it was the most unique Assassin's Creed title in the entire history of Assassin's Creed. And I absolutely loved it. I played a little bit of Odyssey. It was kind of one of the reasons I like Horizon Zero Dawn so much is it doesn't just feel like the world is huge for the sake of being huge. And it doesn't feel like the game's just artificially like chewing up your time on its clock to get an artificial, play time out of you. And I always kind of felt that. I played a little bit of Odyssey and like I really liked parts of it, but I just felt like it just felt kind of shallow. It felt like a little bit of its soul or spirit was missing. Kind of the opposite of a Ghost of Tsushima, right? Where Ghost of Tsushima is kind of like some people said, oh, it's the Japanese version of Assassin's Creed. But for me, like it had all these really familiar underpinnings, like a really familiar engine. Like you're going to be clearing out bandit camps and leaders and crafting things and collecting resources and, following foxes to shrines over and over and doing like all that open world type of stuff we've been doing since 4 generations ago, right? 3 generations, more like 3 generations ago at this point. And yet it was kind of differently. Like it felt like it had a soul. It like rose above the sum of its parts. And I felt like I really feel like that wasn't the case with the later Assassin's Creeds as they kind of got away from what they originally wanted that first game initially to be to what it is today. But I hear a lot of people out there love the series. They have fun with it. And the most important thing to me, and this is for any of you out there who are like upset that I talk smack on Halo Infinite or in its development and disagree with the decision after, or about my E3 video on how harsh I was on them, which to be fair, guys, they don't call me passion personified for nothing, right? I certainly filmed that right after that show. And I had incredible disappointment, but, at the end of the day, all I care about is that people engage with this medium, a medium that I've watched grow from a small niche thing with games like Double Dragon and Mario and Tetris and those types of things to a legitimate powerhouse storytelling medium, in my opinion, an art form that is just right up there with the way music makes you feel, the way that films can make you feel, and books. A legitimate art form. And all I care is that people engage with whatever games resonate with them, whatever franchises resonate with them, whatever products they want to support, even if it's something that I personally think is so far on the other side of the spectrum for what I might enjoy, right? Something like a Fortnite, right? Or a Sony PlayStation that, in its current stage is just openly pillaging people. If you believe in Sony and you love Sony and their games resonate with you and the technology resonates with you and you really enjoy just being on Sony, I think that's awesome. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I really love when people just engage with this medium and it positively impacts their lives. I've got a video out there as part of my Does Horizon Suck series, and it's like a thank you to the Reddit, the subreddit for Horizon, because I started this whole experiment. I never really thought Horizon was going to be for me. I was like, oh, it's an open world game with robot dinosaurs. Like, I just can't take it seriously. I don't like tribal aesthetics. I have nothing against tribal people. I just have never been a big fan of the aesthetics. Like, people are like, oh, Dancing with Wolves. I'm like, oh, that movie sucks. Even though I know it doesn't. Like, it's just like it doesn't fit with what I particularly enjoy, and that's totally fine. But I had kind of these thoughts on Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was like, what would be great? And this is, by the way, a couple of my subscribers, BauerKillz royalty, Swasti and Frank Yeager, as well as my boy Flicky, were like, it'd be awesome, man, if you just played the game and we just found out what comes out on the other side of that. And I was like, that would be a really good thought exercise. And as I kind of went through it, even though I was so kind of disposed to disliking it, that game has been just absolutely amazing, and I've absolutely loved it. So I made a kind of an update video for it, and I will make a kind of once I finish, because I've played my entire first playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn on stream in that series, if you guys haven't picked up on it, because YouTube has this weird thing where anytime you do a live stream, it just kind of like mixes it in with your other traditional YouTube content. So the only way I can really combat that at this point is to make specific playlists. And that's what I've ended up doing. So definitely check it out if you're interested. But in that more traditional YouTube, like, thank you video, I talk in there about how important video games are to me. And how the entire reason I started this channel was just to hang out with you guys, to do life together, to mark out about video games, and just kind of love life, through the perspective in that lens that is video games. So whether you're playing Assassin's Creed, like my boy, who was that said that? Sorry, man, I'm going off, and I'm also having some. For those of you who don't know, this is one of the ever occasional drinking streams. I literally, guys, this is what I do, by the way. I've got like ADHD and ADD and, all these different things. So I go off on tangents. And like I said, like, yes, I'm going to be playing games. Like, we're going to be playing games together, but I'm also going to be on this screen ranting and raving. It might be in addition to your chat. This could turn into mostly a podcast, or maybe I'll start doing like a podcast versus a live stream. But I think for me, it's just like good to have them both kind of mixed together. That's just who I am. And like I said before, I just want to be authentic with y'all out there. But regardless of what platform you play on, what game you enjoy, I don't care if you're playing Hannah Montana. Enjoy video games. Let them positively impact your life. And hopefully you can, bring that joy to other people as well over time. They're starting to get some of the respect they deserve now that they make more money than, the film and the music industry combined. That's crazy. When you think about it, it's just really, really, really cool to kind of see it, at least being recognized from a fiscal standpoint. But on top of that, also being, appreciated by people who are starting to come into this later on in life, and people realize, holy crap, this isn't just like it was back when you were jumping on like Goomba's heads. Like this medium has evolved to the point where it's rivaling films and books and or at least standing amongst them. I don't want to put down any other form of media, right? Because my goodness, like what would we do in our life without music, right? But anyway, so I went on a tangent because I asked somebody, hey, what game are you playing? And they unfortunately said I'm playing Assassin's Creed. And then 20 minutes later, I'm coming back around. Guys, when I talk, it's like I've known this since I was in elementary school. But when I talk, I'm like a dog that's it's spinning, trying to go to the bathroom. And it's like, here's the point, but I just can't get to it without talking a whole lot. But yeah, no, I appreciate that game, Punisher. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad that you appreciate. You said that about objectively about games. You can always count on that here on this channel, man. You can always count on it, no matter how big this channel gets, how far we go. I'm not saying I'll get 1 million subscribers one day or whatever. I think if I just stay consistent over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, sure, why not? That's the goal. But most importantly, it's just to have an outlet to hang out with you guys. And by the way, thanks to you folks, I did meet the monetization guidelines. I was trying to talk about this a little bit last night. I was able to monetize in 9 months of doing this. I've been doing it for a year. So my first video you'll see goes back 12 years, 13 years when I was in college doing my Solid Snake impression. Colonel, listen. So you'll see like a video from there, but like I didn't start this until Mind Detector. Until about a year ago when Ghost of Tsushima came out. But I took like a 3 to 4 month break. So it's really within 9 months of really doing this, I've been able to kind of meet that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in 12 months, which to me is so cool. Now, most YouTubers will just be like, okay, now we can monetize. That's what we're going to do. Guys, I'm not going to add ads to my video. Why? Like, you guys have been so kind and so supportive. Like in the first chance I'm going to get, you're going to come in to see one of my videos, which I'm blessed already to have your interest in. And the first thing you're going to get hit with is an ad, and then halfway through an ad, and at the end an ad. No, we're very blessed and fortunate that we're not like hurting for 32-cent checks from YouTube and ads and stuff. So I mean, if I hit 100,000 subscribers or something at some point, maybe I'll think about it at that point, and then it would be only very, very limited. But for me, I'm looking more towards like, I've had a number of you who have very, very, very supportively, you guys have asked, like, how can I support the channel? And I tell you, I've got like a PayPal link on my channel art, but that's not why I do this. Like, we don't need the money. That's not what it's about. But maybe at some point down the line, I'll do like a, when you start doing subscriptions, maybe a 99-cent, just like, here's $1 a month subscription, or, after I get, a ton of people, maybe like, oh yeah, $2.99 one or something. Like, I'm just not interested in making this be a nickel and diming thing. I just honestly am enjoying hanging out and spending time with you guys. It's just fun. Like, I just love that I'm connecting with people all over the world. I've had people talking to me from Algeria, people talking to me weekly, by the way, from London, from Australia, which God bless you if you're in Australia. What a crazy situation going on right now with the current health situation and the way they're approaching that. My goodness, God help you. But it's just been so cool. I don't ever want you guys to think that I'm just in this for the money. I'm really, like I said, it all comes back to being authentic and to spending time together and hanging out. So we'll continue to do that here on this channel. But it is cool to be like, hey, I met those guidelines and I met that goal. That's kind of like, your first big goal and when you start and do this. So it's, it's nice to have, and I wouldn't be able to do it without each and every one of you out there. So thank you for those of you who are here live and many of you who watch this later on down the line. Seriously, thank you very much. If you want to support the channel, though, what you can do is click that like button. If you haven't done that yet and you're watching the live stream here tonight or later, make sure to hit that. That helps me. Commenting is always good. But the most important thing for me is actively sharing my content. If you think there's someone out there that could get a kick out of, that would get a kick out of the humor I use in my videos, or you think that the information I'm providing is something valid that they could get use out of, social media, like post my stuff on social media and your gaming communities, friends and family, that's always very helpful. So appreciate you there as well. So anyway, back to live chat here. Before we get back to, I think I'm going to switch over to Hades here shortly. Let's take a look here. Oh, so it's RSJ fan. You were the one who was originally talking about about Assassin's Creed. So tip of the cap to you as well, my man. That whole spiel was for you. Xbox One S haven't upgraded yet. I heard really good things about Xbox One S or the Xbox. I know you're on Xbox One S. I was going to say the Series S. I've heard good things about, but yeah, you'll get there, man. Don't worry about it. I think honestly, both of these consoles released maybe a bit earlier than they needed to, but this feels like a next generation experience. It really does. But I'm someone who's coming off 26 years of Sony, right? I can't say like coming off of Xbox where you're going to be coming from, how much better this will be. But I can tell you that it absolutely is an incredible system. It's got this incredible ecosystem and infrastructure behind it. And you've got these powerhouse exclusives that are coming. Unlike the last generation with Xbox, that's what makes it so exciting. Any single player Elder Scrolls, any single player Fallout, Starfield, Avowed, which is the answer by Obsidian to Skyrim. You've got Fable 4 that's coming. You've got the Outer Worlds 2, any new Deathloop titles, and probably DLC. You've got all these things that are coming, and as well as games like Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is a console exclusive, by the way, and games like the Ascent that are already starting to trickle out, Halo Infinite later this year. Definitely a great time to be on Xbox. So if you do upgrade and you decide to go to the Xbox, I couldn't recommend it more, because PS5 honestly feels so far rooted in the past. I've had it since day one, and it's I would give it like a 6 out of 10. There's really nothing about it that feels next gen at all. It feels like a step back in a lot of really significant ways, to be honest with you. And even like minor ways, like you can't create folders and like organize your XMB. How is that possible for a quote next gen system? Is it the end of the world? No, but like it's like death by a million cuts. Then on top of it, you've got issues with like their expandable storage. And the only thing really about PlayStation right now that truly feels next gen when it's done right is their controller. Okay, their controller is decent for sure. And the haptics and the adaptive triggers, when they're done right, they're solid, but I still prefer the rumble in this controller, even when they're knocking off things the right way with haptics and adaptive triggers. Game Punisher says, look at how Psychonauts 2 is getting review bombed by mainly PlayStation fans just because it's on Game Pass and because next gen only on Xbox. Like they didn't even play it and are bombing it. Yeah, man. My bigger issue is when reviewers and critics do that. They did that to this game, The Ascent, and then they artificially propped up Ratchet and Clank, which is so wrong and for so many reasons. Like, you can directly compare Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank. They're both animated titles. They're both supposed to be platformers, and they're both respective major exclusives for their, respective consoles. And you got Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart that is just as by the numbers as it gets rid of the spirit of what's always made Ratchet and Clank great, which is their platforming, which is their humor, that kind of thing, and their weapons, which they overdo in this game to the point where it robs it of any real wow or shock factor. It makes it like it actually gets old getting weapons because you get new weapons so often. And again, if you guys haven't seen that video, I have a video up kind of talking about why Ratchet and Clank is overrated. But then you got Psychonauts that apparently by all intents and purposes, and I haven't played it to be fair, I'll have a review for it later down the line when I do, after I play the original. But, you got a game that sticks true to its roots. It's a true platformer. It's unique. It's an Xbox exclusive. It performs very well technically. I haven't heard any issues like I experienced with Ratchet and Clank where I had to reset and delete and start the game over 3 separate times and unplug my PlayStation 5 from the wall, right? So yeah, you got a lot of people who on the user side will try to bomb things. My bigger issue is when it's coming from critics, right? Because I got my TV keeps like thinking I'm talking to it, and it brings up like, hey, talk to me. And it's like picking up my language. And I'm like, don't send that to China. It's Samsung. I guess we go to Korea, but still. Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I get so frustrated when I see those types of things, whether it's from the user side or the critic side, but the critic side in particular. And this idea of using a Metacritic score as a benchmark industry metric and KPI, which is a key performance indicator, it makes me sick, because far too often that's tied to exactly what bonuses developers get, right? Or whether a particular title will become a franchise, or whether those folks even have a job or not. And very often they're unfairly crushed, and then their Metacritic score determines, oh, okay, well, people aren't interested, so shutter this potential franchise, shutter this studio, spread people out to the wind. People who've crunched, hours and hours and hours to get these games and these works of art out to us that aren't being given a fair shake. And that's not always the case, but most of the time it is. Game Pass is breathing new life, not just into consumers in the form of availability and fiscal. Fiscally, it's just amazing. It's an incredible service, but also for developers, like folks like the Ascent and Neon Giant who made this game. If they were just bound by a traditional release schedule, like you would be if you were releasing on PlayStation, people aren't going to look at, for the most part, not me, because I can use my brain, right? And I can use my noodle. But a lot of people will just look at this game and be like, oh, it's a 67 out of 100. Critics are giving it a 67. Oh, okay. So I'm not going to spend $30 or $40 or whatever it is on it. And then they won't make the revenue or whatever. But yet they got Game Pass here. It gives them a release valve. It gives people an opportunity to try the game anyway and realize, holy crap, this is a legitimate, incredible powerhouse exclusive for the Xbox Series X. And hopefully those same people will start to think, well, then what possible case could have been made to give this game? What possible case could have been made to give this game only a 67? And maybe they start asking questions as a result of it. But more importantly than not, it gives the developer a chance to breathe as other incredibly important metrics like player base and players who completed the game, those types of things, start to become more and more elevated because players are playing it because they don't have to pay that $30 or $40 entry fee to try it out, juxtaposed against a 67, artificial bombing on Metacritic. It's awesome. Game Pass is doing such amazing things all the way across the board, whether it's consumer-based or developer-based, and I couldn't be more impressed by it or happier about it as well. Game Punisher again says, the reason why you resonate with me is because you were on the PlayStation side for so long. You've seen what the community is like, and you see the type of hate you get for crossing over. Pretty unhinged. Yeah, there's been a lot of that, man. I expected it. For me, it was really cool to kind of come over to this side of the fence and just be like, look, I'm buying an Xbox because it's the first time that I felt the need to buy an Xbox. And, I laid out my case in my video, which is my most successful video to date. I think it just crossed 30,000 views, which is so crazy. It's so crazy, guys. That's so insane. And counting. That's just nuts. So thank you guys again. I know a lot of you guys have found me as a result of that video. But that was the first time that I was just like, I have to own an Xbox. And I'm just being a responsible consumer, and I'm also understanding and staying objective. You kind of see what Sony is doing. They're just pillaging people in broad daylight. It's as clear as day. You have to be wearing the most significantly shaded visors, right? To understand, to not be able to see what's going on. So I came over to Xbox. I wanted to send some more money their way, and then I unpackaged this thing, and I made that video from 2 weeks ago where I just lost my mind over it because I had no idea that the experience on the other side of the field was this elevated. I can't get over how much better of an experience this has been in practically every way, shape, and form. And some of it, as you guys have mentioned earlier, have been around for a while. This controller's been around for a while. The rumble in that controller has been around for a while, right? But just combined with this new infrastructure and ecosystem they've been building out, and this new commitment they have to actively remedying the issue they had last generation, which was no real significant exclusives to counter the juggernauts coming from Sony's side. Now we know that's all going to be here, that Xbox is going to be packed to the brim with major, huge console selling and player base drawing exclusives like Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Starfield and so on and so forth. It's just a great time to be a gamer, man. I'm glad I resonate with you though, man. I appreciate that. Just keep me in your positive thoughts when I talk smack on Xbox, because I'm sure there will be times like my last video where I do that, because I keep it real regardless, of who I like and what's going on, as you guys know. Savage Dragoon says the Ezio saga was the best. Yeah, he didn't do it for me, man. I hate like he had the most punchable face. Like every time I looked at his face, I was like, wow, I want to punch that. I want to punch it. Maybe I'll use that clip from that Step Brothers film where the dude's talking to Will Ferrell and he's like, there's something about your face, like I just want to sock you right in your face. And Will Ferrell's like, I can't really do anything about that. And the guy's like, oh no, you've done a great job though. It's the Catalina wine mixer and everything, you've done amazing, but if you don't do something about your face, I'm going to do something for it. I'm going to do something for it. But it just, for me personally, man, I understand why people loved it. I just never really resonated with me personally. All right, there's a whole lot of stuff here. I don't mind add at the very end of videos. Yep. You can download File Explorer apps for Xbox and use it kind of like a PC. I love seeing that, like on this, when I get an achievement on here and I'm live streaming with you guys, it pops up on my computer here too. It's awesome. I love it all. Sony always just playing catch up now. Let me tell you guys something, and then I'll get back to playing. We'll switch over to Hades. As soon as Xbox starts to close that exclusivity gap, it's going to be bad. If Sony hasn't modernized their services, if they haven't modernized the way they're doing things, if they're still like in this kind of pompous, egotistical place that they were back when, for instance, after the PS2 era, hit us and PS3 era came around and they just refused to like change their ways and they just got blown out that generation. That'll happen this generation if they don't do anything in the next couple of years. It's going to take a few years. There's no question it's going to take a couple of years. But once a couple of years go by and these massive titles start to come out, system sellers, and they start to match like Horizon Zero Dawn with, Fallout 5's out. Oh, you got God of War Ragnarok. We got Hellblade 2. And we have, by the way, we also have Avowed. Like I said earlier, Obsidian's answer to Skyrim. How did that work out when Obsidian answered Fallout? Bethesda's Fallout. Oh, we got the best Fallout game arguably ever. You want to talk about, we got Fable. Yeah, Fable 4 is coming back. Oh, we got Halo Infinite. Oh, we got Starfield. You enjoyed Deathloop? You enjoyed Deathloop on PlayStation. I'm glad you did. It's exclusive to Xbox. The only reason you got Deathloop in its base version was because that agreement was made with Sony before Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft. So all future Deathloops, if you enjoyed Deathloop, it really resonated with you, you loved it, you liked it, whatever, You're going to have an Xbox to play it. Sorry. Maybe with the DLC too. We'll see. And then you got your cross-generational titles that are playing across the board better on Xbox because it's got the superior technology. You don't as often have to choose between 4K and 60. You just say, I want to play the game in 4K and 60. It's awesome. Very exciting stuff. Very excited on what's going on. And I think the surest bet right now in the console space is Xbox. But you just have to have a shred of objectivity to see it. But if you can see it and you're willing to kind of step out from familiarity and comfort, kind of like what I did with this, man, you're going to find something truly special on the other side of the fence. And I'm excited to kind of continue to document my migration over to the Xbox over the coming months and years, because I ain't going, God willing, anywhere. Let's get back to the Ascent right now, and then we're going to switch over to Hades. Let's start some Hades, actually. We'll just stop it right here. We'll see the last time this to save the title. Let's go to the glute first, okay? We're gonna head to the glute here, or maybe it's the glut, but I'm gonna roll with glutes. Actually, guys, I didn't order my pizza. I need to order my pizza because I am hungry. All right, let's take a gander. Well, I got some text from some of you guys out there. Quote, Hades before I go to bed. This stream has been awesome. Yo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Sometimes I feel like I talk a little bit too much. I'm sure there are people out there like, dude, we just want to see you play games. I try. I swear to God, I try. Don't worry about that, Swasti. We'll absolutely be playing Hades here in a hot minute. Continue to drink. I just got to make sure that we get this pizza ordered here, or else it will never show up. You know what? I'm not going to order pizza. I can do better. I'll eat something else. Figure out something here. We don't have a whole lot in the house right now, but it's all good, man. I'll eat, popcorn and some Cheez-Its and maybe like a cup of Fruit Loops. Something weird. Something where I'll eat it and people will be like, are you pregnant? Or don't you guys know men can get pregnant now? Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. I try to keep politics out. Sometimes I can't help myself. That was just, you set them up and I'm going to knock them down. But seriously, I'm going to eat like an 8-month pregnant lady tonight. And I should be ordering that pizza, but I don't feel like waking up with acid reflux and heartburn at 3:30 in the morning. And it worked out this week. I ate a little bit better than I normally do, so maybe I should probably not ruin all of that effort considering I'm already doing it. Swasi, I'm about to switch over to Hades for you, man. Something I really like about this game is when you go to quit the main menu, it'll tell you all unsaved progress will be lost. Time since last save, 31 seconds. Listen, and I say this a lot. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I'm about to go back into my game, and here I'm back in the ranting and raving screen because that's what I do. But little things in games, I always love like the little attention to detail, and especially when that comes through as a quality of life thing. Like that makes me so happy. So I know anytime, for instance, I open my journal. So let's open our journal here, okay? Anytime we open our journal, let's go now to quit. It saves the game. Last time the game saved was 1 second ago because the game auto saves every time you open your journal and other things as well. So you're never losing progress, even if you're like, hey, I want to go play Hades because my boy Swasti is like, yo, go play Hades. I want to see it. And you're like, I'm going to do that because you're BauerKillz royalty, my friend. Great thing. I will say one of the things I dislike about the Ascent is that it doesn't make use of the quick resume functionality. Not the end of the world, given that that's not even something that you can do on PlayStation. So if you accidentally select, let's say you go over here, right? Yeah, let's go back to my screen here. Let's go back to my screen here. Let's do it. Okay. So let's say I accidentally clicked on Hades, right? This would close the game out if you're on PlayStation and instantly start Hades. And you'd just be out. Here's something that happened last night for those of you who were here before the technical difficulties kicked in last night. See where it says Halo the Master Chief Collection. Let's click on it. Keep your eye on the top right of the screen. Oh, wait. No, it's not going to work because I actually left. All right. So let me hop back into where I was and then leave and come back because I forgot last night. I actually dedicatedly closed this out. That was a fail on every level, but you guys got to see if you don't know about this and you're a PlayStation only folk. If you're a PlayStation only folk, no, if you're a PlayStation or a Nintendo only person and you don't play Xbox much, this is a legitimate thing to know about the Xbox Series X. It's got this thing called Quick Resume, right? So let's go to, and this is by default. Let's go, because we're going to go play some Hades. Let's hop into Hades, shall we? And by the way, Hades it's one of those games where it's like, and by the way, look how fast I load. You're just there. You're already there. And by the way, I hate that on Xbox I have to have the S at the end of my name. I had to pay $10 for that because somebody already had BauerKillz with a Z. It was probably me at some point years ago. Because there's nowhere else where BauerKillz has ever been a thing anywhere. But for whatever reason, I had to have the S on here. I didn't want to be like BauerKillz 7041 because they added like an additional numeric tag on there if somebody else had it. So I just added the S and paid $10 for it. But here's what's really neat. And this happened last night when I started the stream. Last night was the first time I'd really played anything this week. I played Hades the night before for the first time. What I thought was going to be for 45 minutes, but ended up being 4 hours. I was like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I have to get up at 7. I should probably go to sleep. And then I did one more round. That's Hades. That's Hades right there, essentially in a nutshell. But I came on here. I was like, see top right there, guys. Quick resume. See that little top right? Oh, hey, remember where I was a week ago? Oh yeah, here. I'm in the bottom of the basement, picking my weapons to roll out and start slaughtering Covenant like there's no tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna go play Hades. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go hop back into Hades. Now, I will say that this is a feature that, oh, I'm sorry. And I didn't even know that was a thing. Apparently, Hades does use Quick Resume. I thought that Quick Resume was, so Quick Resume is something, ladies and gentlemen, that is only for specific games. But I thought Hades was immune to that. I just want to make sure that that's not the case because it looked like it just said Quick Resume on the top right of the screen. And if it did, I'm going to lose my mind. Will I take my hat off for the stream? Let me think about it over a little sippy sip. Guys, it would be worth it, but I can't. I can't do it. You guys are gonna have to earn that. So let's hop back into Halo the Master Chief Collection and see Quick Resume pop up. Oh yeah, there's Quick Resume. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, cool. There it is. Hey, I'm back. Ready to shoot you in the face. Give me your ass.
Need something cheap?
There we go. Now you give me a battle rifle. Oh, wait. I want to go back now and destroy stuff in Hades. Let's see a Quick Resume pops up here. Because I thought, oh, there it is. Guess what? Right where I just left off in Hades. Guys, it's something special. That is a legitimately, truly next generation feeling kind of thing. And before I get started on Hades here, just one more saunter, right? One more jaunt back to ranting and raving. And then I promise I'll do this full run without coming back here. Thank you for staying patient with me. Oh my God. That is a truly legitimate next generation feature of this console that is distinctly missing from PlayStation 5 and a significant elevation over it. And there's a lot of different ways in which the Xbox is a legitimate, objectively fact-based, better way of playing games and a better hardware, better services, better anything than PlayStation. It's just a fact, right? The fact that PlayStation can't do that, even if this is limited to certain games, right? Let's say that only half of the games that come out, can utilize or decide to utilize Quick Resume. The fact that there's half the games out there that do that, whereas PlayStation 5 has no option to do that's still, like if you're a PlayStation person and you look at that and you're like, oh, only half of the games do that, that's still a significant way improvement over what your system's doing, which is not offering any of that, right? It is such a game changer to me. I love it. I love that I've taken this out of the box 4 weeks ago or so, and it feels next gen in so many different ways. It actually feels like a next gen system. PS5 has never felt like that. Not truly. The controller occasionally once in a while does. Outside of that, it feels like a step back. Yeah, you heard me. It sounds like a step back from the PlayStation 4 because you can't use things like themes. You can't use things like avatars. You can't organize things on your XMB. So you're just forced to deal with kind of all the clutter, that's on your PS5. It just feels like a GIMP version of PS4 that has the ability to output better graphics. Guys, I don't say this to upset any PlayStation fans out there. I'm going to stream PlayStation 5 stuff. I'm still going to play stuff on PlayStation 5 where needed. I still have ties back to it. The Ys series, YS, I'm playing through Ys 9 right now. I loved Ys 8. I thought it was one of the best games of the last generation objectively. And I hate that that's not on Xbox. But for the most part, anything that's going to be playable on Xbox, and including their exclusives that are coming in, and like I said before earlier in my big rant, there will be massive, huge exclusives coming to Xbox, unlike the last generation. I'm going to be prioritizing as much as possible on Xbox. And I put my line in, I put a line in the sand where I need to for other things, like the Ghost of Tsushima stuff you guys saw me complaining about. In kind of that 30K video I've got out there where I'm, all excited and talking about I'm moving to Xbox and why I'm done with Sony. Well, what I've done is, as much as I love Ghost of Tsushima, which I talk about in the opening there with my little Jin, pop dude. I love Ghost of Tsushima. I thought that was one of the best open world games I've ever played. But I'm willing to sacrifice experiencing the Iki Island expansion to take that money that would otherwise be going to Sony. And Sucker Punch, who honestly deserves it. This is a Sony issue. Sucker Punch has already done plenty for us with that title, offering free multiplayer and all types of other things. But, and I put that towards Skyward Sword. My time and my money towards Skyward Sword. My time and my money towards Game Pass and the Master Chief Collection. And taking my time and my money and placing it in other buckets. And I'll be honest with you guys, outside of the one time that I played Horizon Zero Dawn a couple weeks ago on stream to try to put a bow tie on the DLC there, which I was able to do. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do. And I've got 2 traditional YouTube videos based on that are in those series. Just look for the ones that are under like 5 hours, because I've streamed my entire playthrough of it. But outside of going back to beat the DLC, and I still have to beat the actual game itself and then do a wrap-up video, I haven't touched my PlayStation. I got to go back and play East. I got to play 13 Sentinels. I got to get back to Final Fantasy 14. If you guys don't know what's in my background of my traditional YouTube videos most of the time, when you see the statues and stuff in the back, Final Fantasy has impacted my life in a way I can't ever accurately articulate. And Final Fantasy 14 I adore. Those are all special collector's editions of Final Fantasy 14 and their corresponding statues and their different things. And I've got Nintendo powers from 92 that are like reviewing Super Metroid or 94, I guess, because that's when that came out. And in this closet back behind me, like I got all types of old school stuff that goes back, but I love Final Fantasy, and by extension Final Fantasy 14. I'm just praying at some point it comes to Xbox, because the fact that it's not there, that's another significant tie back to PlayStation. But other than those types of things, and then games like Forbidden West, and because PlayStation will still have those exclusives, and if anything, I want to keep my finger on the pulse of this industry to at least bring to you guys an idea of what's worth your time and what's not. I'll continue to go back and play those games, and also because a lot of those games are just genuinely great. But I'd say probably halfway through this generation, or maybe beyond, we'll see. My primary console has become my Xbox, but the vast majority of my money and my time is going to Microsoft. And I think that over the course of this generation, many gamers, even those who are currently jaded and kind of blind to this, are going to be forced to accept that Xbox is not just the player again. They're going to retake the crown just like they did in the 360 era when PlayStation and Sony were coming out of the PS2 into the PS3 era. That's what's going to happen right now. I think it's as clear as day. You don't need a crystal ball to see it playing out when you think about what's going on, what Microsoft is invested in versus kind of how Sony is doing business, the archaic, static processes that they're using, and how they're forcing consumers to ingest their games and their experiences. I'm excited about what lies ahead. But it's 9 o'clock right now, guys. I got another maybe hour and a half or so in me. Let's go ahead and play some Hades, which has been, by the way, just absolutely stellar. I looked at it from a distance last year, and I was like, that's a game I'll play. But I've played Dead Cells. More importantly, I've played Binding of Isaac, which no game can ever touch from an indie roguelike standpoint. So I thought. I've already talked earlier on the stream about how this game has already impacted me as far as my time is concerned. There's really nothing else like it. It takes the best parts of Binding of Isaac. It takes the best parts of games like Dead Cells, and it adds its own twist to it. It adds a narrative. You know, the way that they push the narrative through the game in multiple runs, the way they integrate death into the narrative, into the story, into the world building, into the lore. It is something to write home about. And then you've got absolutely sublime gameplay that changes every time you head into Tartarus for the first time to try to get out of the underworld. Some of the best voice acting I've heard in years, and graphics that are so beautifully old school, but also modern at the same time. I mean, the artists of this game must have had such a blast sketching up concept art, you know, animating this stuff in their development suite. I mean, it's really like trying to explain a color to someone they've never seen before. I thought I knew what this game was like, and I don't know if you'll be able to experience it the way that I feel about it from a distance, because I couldn't, like, I've seen some preview footage of it, but I was just kind of like, I never appreciated it the way that everyone talked about how great it was until I actually sat down and played it, which, by the way, the only reason I did was because it was on Game Pass on day one, and it's currently the highest rated Xbox Series X game, I think by 1 point or so. It's just like, and it's just sitting there, and I'm like, on my mobile app, I go to download it, right? Get this. I go and I'm like, yeah, I want to yeah, why not? Like, I'm going to play it at some point. I've got a sick backlog. I'm playing a million different games and different genres, whatever. Put it on my system. I'll check it out tonight before I go to bed. So I do it from the mobile app, and instantly I see on my computer that I was looking at the time separately. Oh, by the way, yeah, the game you just downloaded from your, oh yeah, you got points. You can turn in a daily quest, which was to log into the Game Pass mobile app, which I'm on anyway. And I'm like, oh, cool. So the first thing I did when I fired up my Series X earlier this week was be like, oh, here are daily and weekly rewards for just doing stuff I do anyway, like switching applications and looking through the mobile app and downloading stuff and getting achievements. And it's not like like you can actually like trade these things in for months of Game Pass, month of gold. You can save them up for games. Like, it's crazy. It's just like gifted to you from Microsoft. It's almost like kind of like this weird video game form of philanthropy where Microsoft's like, hey, we're rich enough that we can just afford to give you away free stuff. Just all you have to do is sign up for our reward system, and like then we're just going to integrate with everything you do. It's so cool, and it's so different, and such a cool integrated experience that you would never see on Sony, who can't get their Sony Rewards app to work, you know, 75% of the time, or when you do and you order, like, because I have a PlayStation credit card, I go out, I'll buy groceries, and I'm like, oh, hey, $300 at BJ's or Costco. Cool. I'll use my card. I go out, I unload everything. I open my trunk. I also have a short, by the way, guys. That's where I was. I was at BJ's when I did that Final Fantasy VII in real life during, you know, the COVID last year. If you haven't seen it, check it out. A lot of people got a kick out of that. It's like a 30-second video. Anyway, plug. I unload my stuff in there, and then I go into my car, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just go to my, you know, like a responsible credit card holder should. I go and then just instantly pay it off. So I'm like, oh, I'd pay that off with my debit card. But, you know, I'm just using my PlayStation card to gain points and then pay it off instantly, you know, with my debit card. So I might as well use my debit card, but I'm just getting free gift cards. And yet they can't even, like, even though it's a digital gift code, I don't see it for 3 or 5 days. Like, they can't even do that right. Like, it's just such this integrated ecosystem, and the speed and the ease in which, like, everything happens, whether you're on your PC, whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your Xbox. It's just such a huge step above, to the point where I didn't even know this type of experience existed when it comes, especially to video games, my biggest passion in life. But it's just so cool. I mean, it's just so freaking cool. So I downloaded this, I turned in, you know, I got points for doing it and stuff. And then I started playing it, and I'm like, I finally get it. Like, I understand why people love this game so much and why it won Game of the Year everywhere that didn't give it to, fraudulently, by the way, to The Last of Us 2 last year. Total, like I'm sorry, like, nobody can make an objective argument that that game ever should have been on shortlist for Game of the Year, let alone win it. And I'll argue that to the end of time. So dishonest to give The Last of Us 2. You give it an award for animation, setting benchmarks in animation and graphics and all that good stuff. By all means, give all the awards in the world to The Last of Us 2 last year. But giving it Game of the Year for a single run through with no multiplayer, which it's 8-year Predator, 7 or 8, I guess it was at the time, 7 years prior, the masterpiece original had this incredible, awesome multiplayer, and they can't even replicate that, let alone evolve on it. They just give you kind of like a padded out, terribly written story that just, like, they pad it out so you get through double digits on your first run. It was so obvious in that open world Seattle level, like, that you were just like, they're very clearly just trying to artificially increase the time that gets you into the double digits to complete the game. But once you're done with it, there's nothing else to do. Listen, if you're somebody that wants to go through the game and play it on the hardest difficulty, like, oh, okay, now the enemies take more damage and you take more damage, like just that standard, like, artificial difficulty, all power to you. That's not, like, the amount of content in that game is a joke. I'm sorry, it's a joke, especially compared to what came before it. 8 years later, 7 years later, to be that bare. Anyway, that doesn't even talk about the story, which I can understand why people love it. I can understand why people dislike it. I'm on the other side of it. I had issues with it before the political stuff even came out, and I didn't think it was even that bad when it came to the political stuff that people seem to have a lot of issues with. I can see why people had issues with it, and there were some things that would make me roll my eyes where I'm just like, okay, like that's a bit on the nose. It wasn't anywhere as near as bad as I was expecting. Swasi's sitting on the other side of this lens like, dude, I just want to see you play Hades. Stop talking. Guys, it's one of these streams. Forgive me. I'm going off a little bit because so many of you have asked me why I dislike the game. Let me tell you. Everything I just said, before we even knew what the game was going to be, I was against The Last of Us Part 2. First of all, you've got Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog, at this point, was one of those developers who were a shell of their former selves. I realized they were a shell of their former selves when they told everybody, when they were about to release it on PlayStation 3, you can research this. You can look it up. What I'm about to tell you is 100% true. And I can't remember who they had this interview with, but it was someone prominent. It might have been like a Game Informer. It might have been, IGN. It was someone. They said the question was asked of them, will you ever make this game available on the PS4? Because this is like 2012 or early 2013. And Naughty Dog is saying at the time, like, no, we'll never make it available for PS4. Like, this is the swan song of the PS3. And everyone should go out and buy it. Everybody should go out and buy it. You'll never see it on PS4. We have no plans to make it for PlayStation 4. Less than 1 year later, or maybe just over, like less than a year and a month later. Maybe it was technically a year. I think it was less than a year. I think that it released in July of 2013, and by June of 2014, they had the remastered version out for PS4. Give me a freaking break. Anyway, later on, they admitted in that interview, and they said that would never happen. They already had a team working on it. They already had a team working on the PS4 version of it, and that they were just like, and they were like laughing about it, like, oh yeah, I know we were working on. We were just saying, like, obviously we wanted sales and we wanted players to experience it right away, and it was such a dishonest BS move. It was just such a horribly disgraceful thing to do by Naughty Dog, and I thought that the first game from a gameplay perspective was excellent, but I thought it was like crazy overrated. I would give the first Last of Us like a 9, like a solid 9. Like, it was an amazing game. If you own a PlayStation, it's definitely a flagship title. Put it in your collection, own it, love life. But I thought it was really overrated, especially from a gameplay perspective. But story-wise, I thought the end of the game, which I won't ruin here, was perfect. I thought it was a masterpiece. I thought it was perfect. And I remember just going off on this rant to a bunch of friends of mine saying, like we need to, like all developers and publishers do now is just remake stuff, or they add things where they don't need to. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I won't get into now because I have so much to say about that, but is a great example of this. Like, you just need to leave stuff alone. It's okay to leave an IP alone. Like, the worst thing you can do is release another game, not do it right, and then you end up hurting the legacy of the original. So I never even really believed that the second game should have ever been made, because how hard is it to catch lightning in a bottle twice like that? It's damn near impossible. Yes, Naughty Dog did it, you could argue, with Uncharted 2, but the first Uncharted was like a really good, solid game, but it wasn't like a legendary, incredible, amazing title, and then Uncharted 2 happened to be that. They hit lightning in a bottle with Uncharted 2, I think, and that followed on the heels of a really good Uncharted 1. It was so good, in fact, that people look back at the original Uncharted and made it something that it wasn't, some masterpiece. That it was a great game, it was a really good game, but it wasn't no masterpiece, man. So I always argue, like, yeah, Uncharted 2 was great, and then Uncharted 3 for me didn't meet that same standard with multiplayer or single player. Some of you might disagree, and that's fine. I love the good, healthy debate. But I just thought, man, like, just leave the game alone. Leave the IP alone. You don't have to milk this teat for everything it's worth. Then they announced The Last of Us Part 2. Then they went the direction they did with a bunch of different things, whether it was political, whether it was poor writing, whether it was the convenience of, however many different times, like, somebody could have or should have died. Then, like, something miraculous happened, like somebody fell down or somebody got shot or somebody showed up. Like, it just... And then you have kind of the real world implications of it. I've become increasingly more interested in, like, real world issues like crunch and treating people right. And it just makes me so sick to hear, like, Neil Druckmann talking about, like, empowering women in the industry and, like, oh, I'm going to pay this feminist, who knows nothing about video games, by the way. I think her name's Anita Sarkeesian. Knows nothing about video games at all. Makes a living off of stoking hatred and fanning flames where, they don't belong. Demonizing the video game industry. He's going to pay her, but not his own developers. I digress. But hearing them talk about, women in the industry, and meanwhile he pushes out Amy Hennig, who is like the mastermind behind the original Last of Us. I think she wrote for Uncharted as well, I believe. But he came in and, like, pushed out a very strong, independent, incredibly talented woman behind the scenes, totally egotistical, vain dude. So it's like it hit on so many different things where I just wanted nothing to do with the game. And then when it came out and I saw what it was, I couldn't disagree more with the narrative direction, even though, as I said before, like, I understand why people might really enjoy it. And if you guys out there are fans of The Last of Us Part 2, this isn't a rant to take you off of The Last of Us Part 2 or to make you feel bad about enjoying it. Like I said earlier, my top rule is always the same. Whether I'm into a game or not, I want you to enjoy the medium and interact with it in a way that's positive for you and your life. And I can still sit here and tell you objectively The Last of Us Part 2 is a great game. I would give it an 8. Maybe an 8.25. I would give it between an 8 and a 9. Definitely not a 9, but I would give it, excuse me, I would give it a solid 8. I'm starting to lose my voice. But it was not in a year where Doom Eternal's out, where, as much as I dislike what they did narratively again with Final Fantasy VII Remake, that game absolutely deserved to be on short list of Game of the Year. And a game with that. A game with this one that we're about to play, Hades. And a year where there are just so many tremendous titles out there. Like The Last of Us Part 2 objectively just was not strong enough. It just was not strong enough to be a legitimate contender. And guess what? That's okay. It's still a great game. And if it's your personal favorite of the year, that's another story entirely. You guys will see later this year, I'm starting a new kind of annual thing where I do not just Game of the Year, but I also do favorite game of the year. So, like, the game that I played this year that I personally prefer, even if I know objectively it's probably not better than a God of War or, a BioShock back in 2008, or something along those lines. Like, there are going to be games that deserve to objectively be on that stand for Game of the Year, and then there are games where you enjoy playing more, games that require more of a grind, for instance, or games that you just happen to like the aesthetic of. You understand the mechanics aren't as great, or maybe the story's not so great, but you just love it. You got to be able to separate those things, especially if you're working in the industry and you've got millions of people that are looking at you right? And you've got people who are getting bonuses and all these things based off this stuff. It was just so dishonest last year to give Game of the Year to The Last of Us Part 2, let alone even have it be on the short list. Give it all the awards in the world for great animation and setting benchmarks and graphical capabilities and those types of things, but graphics do not make a great game. From a gameplay perspective, you've got one run through the game, you've got an artificially padded, initial run that gets you barely into the double digits of playtime, but then you don't really do anything different. You don't add to the gameplay significantly and evolve on what was there before. Oh, you could lay prone. Okay, cool. You could do that in Contra. I talked about that in one of my really early videos where it's like, just the ability to go prone doesn't inherently change the game. That's not a significant addition. I like the way that Abby fights people close up, that visceral, brutal hand-to-hand style. That's nice. But the first game was scrappy enough. It didn't differentiate significantly in any meaningful way from its 7-year prior masterpiece predecessor. And it also didn't offer anything like multiplayer, any DLC, none of that. So there's my big spree for you guys. I've lost quite a few of you guys here who just want me to play games, and I'm going off on The Last of Us. Let's see. Swasi says, LMAO, finish your drink and let's go. Cheers. Down the hatch. Let's play some Hades. Thank you, Swasi, for keeping me on track. I just went off. I've had a lot of you guys asking me recently on these streams, why do you hate The Last of Us Part 2? So many reasons I didn't even talk about. If we ever want to talk narratively, trust me, I'll get into why the narrative is total garbage. But like I said before, I get it. I understand why people like it, but anywho. All right, so let's take a look here at what we're doing. So I just upgraded a bunch of stuff in here. So this is the House of Hades. Every time you come back here, you got new conversations to have with people. So you see here, learn more about his dad, Hades, by having 15 more conversations with him. You can't see it because it's behind my head, but it says learn more by having conversations with Hades, 15. And then you get more of this codex unlocked. Same with all of these other characters. You got the Olympian gods who are bestowing blessings to you in the underworld to help you get out of the underworld to come visit them in Olympus because you're their nephew, right? A lot of them. And then you have these side quest type of things. You can give gifts to NPCs. And then you've got things that upgrade you permanently as you roll back through and you die and you come back to the House of Hades. And you've got a quick, a quick snippet from what's his name, man? I always call him Hades, but it's Zagreus, who's the main character of the game. When Zagreus, gets killed, he comes back through a pool of blood, and then he's just like, he'll say like a quick line about, I'll get him next time, or he'll have some snippet to say. But I love the way the narrative continues to roll through everything you do in this game, and that death is an inherent part of all aspects of it. It feels so natural and organic. It totally takes away the frustration of dying. It's actually exciting to die in this game because you're going to get new dialogue with NPCs. You're going to unlock new things. You're going to get the option to bring back the items that you picked up on your last run and cash them in for some type of benefit, or level yourself up before you head right back on out into that procedurally generated underworld. It's special, man. The game's special, and it's so addictive. It's so addictive. So we can talk now to our training buddy here, Skelly. Let's see what he's got to say.
You're getting pretty strong, I'll give you that, boy.
Great voice acting,
by the way. Strong enough to smack a guy like me right up against the wall, and I'd go straight to pieces. Boom! You just remember, when you're duking it out, the walls are your friend.
Smack guys against walls. Sound advice as ever, mate.
So this is kind of like a training ground. You bring back keys that unlock different weapons for you to use. So here you've got kind of like a sword-based attack here. You can dash and you can attack when you dash. You can do a special attack like this. You got like this projectile that you can upgrade with all the different things that you can pick up on any given run, which are all random. They can upgrade your attack. They can upgrade your projectiles. They can upgrade your special attacks. But here's a shield that I picked up by collecting keys as I ran throughout the game multiple different times. And it's a totally different play style. You can block. And then Skelly just comes back. He serves a story purpose, which I absolutely love. You got a training partner who talks to you and gives you world building and lore and But also serves a practical, logistical gameplay purpose as well to get you to, used to kind of what your weapons feel like before you head out into the underworld. I'm going to roll with the shield. I've really been enjoying the shield. Let's roll with the shield. Before we leave, let's go see how many chambers I've made it through. My last run was something special. I made it to the 3rd area in the game.
You're out there, Mother.
So Hades just found out about his mom, which only was a cutscene that only happened back here in the House of Hades. I've made it through 37 chambers. I don't have any idea how many chambers there are in the game, but
Which to choose?
you're always picking up new potential, game-changing, run-defining things that could be the difference between getting out or coming back to the House of Hades. I'm rocking right now the old spike collar from giving a gift to my boy Cerberus, who you can pet, by the way, for all of you animal lovers out there, which adds 38 health to my total life, which is very helpful. So let's head out and let's take a run. Yo, Swasti, this is for you, my man. I'm going to dedicate this run to Swasti. Let's hope it's good. Oh, cutscene.
Death is your only family. Death and I.
Yo, the voice acting in this game is
best
second
get
to none.
accustomed to the both of us.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. That's something totally new. So here we're going to start with a random power bestowed to us by somebody. For those of you who aren't familiar with Hades, somebody from Olympus, whose powers and the blessings of Olympus they can bestow is significantly weakened down here in Hades, but it's still helpful. But this will also advance dialogue and lore with the characters that you're talking to. This looks like, because we got that trident, that we're going to be talking to Poseidon. Let's do it.
I have to tell you something, little Hades. My relatives and I, we've been
The art
holding
is so
back one of
good.
our greatest gifts to see if you are worthy. And you are. My aid is yours. So call me if you need anything, especially to smash your enemies to bits.
So here we
what's
go.
this?
And you can see on the right-hand side there, you've got different, your traditional loot layers, right? This is epic. Poseidon's Aid, and sometimes you get a choice of up to 3. Your call makes you surge into foes while impervious for 1.2 seconds. And these you can upgrade over time or swap them in and out depending on what types of functions you come across in your run through Hades. In the different areas, you can pick up fountains, you can come across different NPCs, and you advance your storylines and your quests with them, but they're all totally random, and they all do different things, and they all inherently impact the way that a run will go depending on what choices you make and how you decide to roll through any given run and what you choose along the way. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and it's digital crack. It's digital crack. That's what it is. Press the right trigger for an Olympian's Aid if you have such a boon. Uses 1 stock of your God gauge or all 4 stocks for a much stronger effect.
The wrath of Poseidon at my beck and call.
So I love this shield. So you can just kind of block here and do like a little dash. So you hold down your X
How
button.
careless of me.
You can do a little dash there, but anything
Get
that
out.
hits you there, you'll block, which is nice. You can toss it. And this is like your standard projectile. So anytime you fire it, you have to get this little gem back in order to use it again. But you can upgrade that as well throughout the game. It starts off as like this weak arrow thing, but as you go through, you can turn it into significantly some different things, different applications. So watch, see how I'm blocking all of this here. Now I'm gonna go up, and I've got you get permanent upgrades as well. Back in the House of Hades. So I've got like increased damage from doing backstabs. That no matter what run I'm on or what I'm doing is always active. It's just awesome. So let's pick up here. So that those little dark gems there you collect when you die and you go back to Hades. You'll actually be able to exchange them for additional permanent increases to make your runs more efficient and more likely to succeed, even though you've got those varying factors that no matter what, you are constantly, subject to. So these little symbols on the door, this is for health. Typically you have 2 options to take. So you can be like, oh, I want health, or the other door might be gold, or it might be, like a boon symbol, or it might be Poseidon's, lightning symbol, so you know if you go through and you clear that chamber, you'll get some type of upgrade to Poseidon. And if you already have a Zeus, sorry, if you already have an upgrade from Zeus, you might be able to upgrade it in that case. You'll see as we run through this run here where we go and what we do and how that kind of plays out. So you see the amount of damage I'm doing with backstabs. I mean, guys, this game is just, it really, I mean, it's really not even something you can understand until you actually play it for yourself. It's just so ridiculous, so much fun.
That's good.
Gives us 25 extra health, which is great. And we've got the ability when we die to come back with half. A permanent upgrade is to come back with half health. So we've got 1.5 lives essentially here, in different ways along the path, by the way, to upgrade our maximum health, to get some of that health back. Very classic Binding of Isaac style in that regard. If you're familiar with Binding of Isaac, the way that Hades has taken those best parts of those other roguelike indie games and added it to their repertoire and added their own spins on it is pure brilliance, and completely and totally will just impress you on every level.
More witches?
I love these flying guys. When I got a shield, it's so easy to just like hit multiples of them, which is nice. You can just take them out pretty quickly. Obviously updated to do that. I had a run the last game where just like I threw this shield and it would like chain Zeus's lightning, because you can. Oh, there we go. So this is a gift you can give to other NPCs in the game. You decide who you want to give it to unlock more of their codex and also additional features in the game. Everything in this loop, every single run is significant and adds to your overall ability to make progressively deeper runs, just like any great roguelike title does. But this game, the way it ties narrative and narrative significance to that is something special. And by the way, I'll show you guys after this, these enemies. Something I love about the codex is It'll tell you about what these enemies are. So you got your bestiaries there, man. I'm getting wrecked right now. There we go.
Right there.
Just take a look in our codex here. So we go over here to the underworld, right? Perilous foes. Okay. Perilous foes. Who are these dudes? Who are these dudes? Where are these dudes at? Let's take a look. Come on now. The underworld, infernal arms, undiscovered. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, so I was just not holding down the button enough. Guys, it's from the strength that Swasi told me to finish. Thank you for that, my man. These are wretched louts. Their entry is complete. There is ample room in Tartarus even for these prodigious boorish entities who doubtless were intolerable even when they lived. Now you see in the white, when you kill a certain amount of them, you get more information about them, and I think you do more damage to them. I'm not sure on that last piece, but I assume that you do. Now, having been reduced merely to their most base of negative impulses, these damnable wretches do their part to help uphold the underworld's cruel reputation. So you can see, like, there are things in here. Yeah, learn more by slaying the Inferno Bomber 26. So you're constantly upgrading new things in your codex, new abilities, you know, new plot lines, new narrative arcs by just having conversations with people, defeating enemies, and just making runs and coming back to the House of Hades. It's just awesome, guys. All the way around. This game is special for so many different reasons, but it's doing things. It just does things right and in a very unique, different type of way. block that attack there. And that little dash attack afterwards does tremendous damage. And as you roll through the game and you decide what you want to pick up and kind of how you want to augment your abilities, you can lean into, oh, hey, I like to do this dash attack. Well, guess what? There are things based on the fact that you're using your shield. The game knows what weapon you're rolling through this run with. It'll be like, okay, you know, do your dash attack in a quicker period of time. Your dash attack does, you know, 20% more damage for this level, and then if you get another level, it's even more. You know, your dash does damage and can deflect attacks. So you build your Zagreus the way that you want to on any given run. And it's augmented further by the things that you're constantly upgrading back in the House of Hades when you die, as well as how you're upgrading and obtaining things in different areas that only pop up once in a great while in Hades itself out on your runs. It's an addictive loop, man. It really is. So it looks like here we're gonna get an ability to talk with Artemis and potentially get an upgrade coming from Artemis. And I also love how, depending on which god you're using, what ability, it determines like different things. Like Dionysus, who of course is like the god of like wine and the god of partying, which we're doing a little bit here tonight. Might have to go get another drink. But like they have like a status effect called Hangover, and you can cause that. You can decide whether when you get an upgrade, whether you want to do that by, you know, inflict it by dashing into enemies or using your regular attacks or using your specials, whatever it is. You have the full decision on how you want to build any given run. It's great. So let's see. We're gonna talk to Artemis here. Let's see what she's got to say.
But Poseidon blessed you, didn't he? To think that big fat oaf is your own father's brother. I'm told to be respectful near him, but it's hard.
Your attack is stronger with 15% chance. Wow. Plus 15% chance to deal critical damage. I really dig that. Your special is stronger with 20% chance to deal critical damage. I do use that special. I use that Swasti. Dude, I use that shield toss all the time. Let's level that one up. I'm not really all that interested on this run to do dash strike unless I've got a Hermes upgrade, which makes you faster anyway. So let's do your special is stronger with a 20% chance, and that's of course. And now you can see it when I throw that shield. It's got that little Artemis, you know, that little effect to it, right? Which would be different if it was based on another god that we had happened to come across, right? Great attention to detail. Oh, I hate these bomb lads. See how it hit both of them, and I got a 20% chance to do critical damage when I do that. Let's hit him with that. Oh, get out of there, get out of there. Yeah, you get hit with one of these bombs, they don't mess around. They do not mess around at all. In the least! Messing around would say they ain't messing around. Die! So again, you got to pick up that ability there. There we go. Hit him there, Hades. All right, baby. It's so sad, guys. It's so satisfying. This game is like, I'm telling you, even if you like, it might be a game you just have to play yourself to understand. If you're looking at it from a distance, you're like, it just kind of looks like a top-down game that I could do with or do without. Just get it. Like seriously, like you can't replicate how great this game is by unless you play it. So I'm running low on batteries here. Let's see, we gotta say
you've had a brush with Megara the Fury, haven't you? Oh, I know a thing or two about that one. Though lately we Olympians no longer mingle with those living in the underworld. You're the only exception.
What's going on, Brandon? Thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, man, I'm playing Hades for another hour or so. I think I'll probably hop off here in an hour. It's been a great stream, man. Feel free to go back and check some things out. I played some Ascent. I went off on a bunch of rants. I've been having a couple drinks, so I'm a little freer tonight than I typically am. But hey, it's a Saturday night after a long week of working hard, and it's been a great time having a replacement Arsenal stream and hanging out with you folks. So thank you as always for joining me here. I hope all of you are doing well out there, and welcome again, Brandon, for the first time joining the stream, man. I appreciate your support and kind words, man. Your attack deals more damage and inflicts weak, which is for at least 4 seconds, the victim deals at least 30% less damage. Now, that sounds like something that I would like to put on my sprints or my, what do you call it? Stefan Gaman says, sorry I'm late. Glad your internet's working again. Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Having a great time here tonight. We got about an hour left here. So to both you, Stefan, and Brandon, thank you guys for joining. Most appreciated. Feel free to go back and check the rest of the stream if you want. It's been a great stream here tonight. It'll be up there. It'll be recorded in archive. You can watch it anytime you want. Or just stay tuned for the videos I put out each week. But yeah, playing some 80s tonight. Played a little bit of Ascent earlier. And really looking forward to this next hour here before we shut down and making a run or two, depending on how far we go. Let's do this. Special deals more damage and inflicts weak. Yeah, we'll keep it to the special. I'm gonna build around this shield throwing ability because it allows me to stay away from enemies, do damage from a distance, hit multiple enemies, and now we've got additional damage, and we're gonna tie it to inflicting weak, which makes them do less damage if we do get hit.
Artemis won't
We're in
mind,
good
will
shape.
she?
You guys let me know if.
Keep it up.
Yeah, look at the damage. That's just going right through the armor. Get rid of that power there. And of course, we can block as well. Took a little bit of more damage in that room than I was hoping to, but it's all good.
Sure.
So here's where we start to get branching paths, right? Do I want to get more health, or do I want to roll over to Charon's shop? I think I want to get some more health here. I've got 207 gold. I'm not eager to spend it right now. I feel like my additional, my straight up damage right now, the way that I'm able to kind of move through Tartarus at this point, I feel okay with focusing on getting some more health and stacking up on that and getting some getting some strength later on down the line. Gosh, this shield is so great. I love this shield more than words can say. Let's do a little dash there with block some of that damage that's coming at us here quickly. And boom goes the dynamite. I love the little slowdown at the end of any given room, right? The end of any given room, you get that like little Michael Bay slow motion.
That's nice.
So do you want to go after this? Do you want to go after dark gems? We got a little skull there, which tells me that's going to be a little bit more difficult than normal. I don't know what the exclamation mark is, what that symbol is, so there's only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop in here and see what we got laying ahead of us.
Your Highness.
I'll check it out. I remember this dude.
You know, Prince Ed, I'd not expected.
By the way, I met this guy one time, and he had a really kind of sad story. I'm coming across him now, which you don't do in every run, but it's going to give me new dialogue. It's going to unlock new things in its codex. It's going to give me the option to give him gifts and different things that will unlock different abilities, new things within the game for me to take advantage of, so that when I come across this guy, whose name is Siphius, it's going to continue his storyline. He's going to continue to provide me different benefits that maybe I wouldn't see before unless I had already taken the time to spend time with him and give him some of these things. I love it, man. The way they've weaved this narrative power and the loop of the game through all of these different things, which you may or may not see at any given time, is pure brilliance. And it separates the game significantly from even the powerhouses in the roguelike genre like The Binding of Isaac.
Again, not after all this time.
Although that's my favorite ever. We'll see if this can meet that.
Not
Doubtful, but even to be spoken in the same breath as Binding of Isaac is high compliments indeed.
Oh, something's just about always amiss back home, sir. Figured it couldn't hurt to check up on things in Tartarus a bit more frequently.
Well, I am grateful for it. I and the old boulder there, in turn. I'm used to going lengthy stretches on my own, but having visitors...
Brandon says always go for the exclamation. Good looking out, man. I definitely will do that. Siphius furtively offers a choice of benefits. Your total life is 1/16 of 138. Lose it all for an express trip back to the House of Hades. I'll pass on that one. Let's I don't really need darkness right now. I've got plenty of that. So let's roll with Charon's Obol so that we can buff ourselves up a little bit. Add to that 222 gold we're already rocking in Tartarus and get us prepared for some, hopefully a deeper dive here on our way out of Hades. That gives us 104. Very nice. Oh, by the way, you also, anytime you see like this little orb here glinting, you'll have a narrator that will talk that your main character can hear and he'll respond to. And it's kind of like a CRPG, Dungeon and Dragon style like narrator, which is really cool. I love it. It's very tabletop, but I love that your character, I still don't remember his name, Zagreus? I think it's Zagreus. The way that he responds, you know, in kind. Check it out.
Within the depths of Tartarus reside the most wretched of all the shades who linger for eternity within the underworld, whose lord and master is especially unkind to those attempting to cheat death.
Lots of wretchedness to go around, I guess.
That's so great. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit a hammer door. Okay, so before I continue, I gotta say this. That hammer door makes me so happy, I am going to order a pizza. So you guys bear with me while I order Pizza Hut here quickly. Hit me in those comments, man, because if you guys know anything about me in this channel, this is half live stream, half podcast. Let me know what you want to talk about while we order this pizza. We'll chat. Then I got to run to the bathroom, and then I'll be back shortly. Swasti orders pizza live stream. Feels good to be a gangsta. It's happening now, my man. Certain boons replace other boons. You usually want to get boons on all your attack, special, cast, and dodge, and then coordinate those actions with each other. Good looking out, man. So I'm getting some pro tips here on my phone from my boy Swasti here, who is a veteran BauerKillz royalty here. Like top I'm talking like top of the tier, guys. You don't get any higher tier than Swasti. Good looking out, man. Awesome stuff. Thanks for the heads up on that. Pizza Hut, Detroit style pizza. Order now. Don't mind if I do. What do I want on it? Gee, I wonder if triple pepperoni is an option. Yeah. Like I said, guys, it makes that little grease bowl, the pepperoni grease bowls where they curve upwards and then just the grease sits there. Oh, I should get breadsticks to dip in that grease. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's where we're at right now. All right, delivery. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm going to sign in. Come on now. Harbo says, bro, I just got here. Love the pizza order. I didn't get to play, so I'm happy to see you play first so I get tips. Yo, Harbo, first of all, when I'm talking about Swasti being like top tier, like royalty, there are certain folks here that are in that category. You are one of them. Everyone give a very, very lively what's up to Harbo11, who is my brother from another mother as well. Yo, Harbo, seriously, I was saying this a little bit earlier. I don't think that you can really comprehend how addictive and how fun and truly innovative and excellent this game is unless you actually sit it down and play it yourself. Just go buy it. Don't even worry about it. Just go buy it. It is so good. Dude, it is so good. The way they weave the narrative and the gameplay mechanics through that cycle of life and death and everything that changes in between it. It's awesome. I'm not going to repeat myself just because you just go back earlier in the stream. You can check it out. I've been talking a whole lot on this stream. I got to calm down a little bit because I've had a little drinky. And as you guys know, I'm already verbose. This makes me just a little bit more so. Gonna order pizza. Maybe I'll just hold my phone out with Rick Astley playing when they show up, so they get Rick rolled by doing their job. Yes, I don't mind if I continue. All right. Contactless delivery. You mean I don't have to have human contact? I'm down. I will totally ride the health pandemic in order to stay in this room away from people. Just bring me my pizza, leave it on the doorstep, and I'll come out like an agoraphobic and bring it into the house. No worries. Guys, the first thing I'm seeing on this is a Detroit-style create-your-own double pepperoni. That's what I'm talking about. There's nothing better to me, really, than a double pepperoni, or unless there's a triple pepperoni. The more pepperoni, the better. Like, if I can see the cheese through the pepperoni, we have a problem, right? Kind of like the fact that Twisted Metal isn't around in this day and age, as it clearly should in a Battle Royale format. But that's another story for another time. This is taking far too long. Far too long. Sorry about that, guys. Just give me 1 second here. Order in. Hope it is what it is. Worked out this week, ate well, threw it all down the drain today. It's going to buff out. It'll be good. Get back onto it tomorrow. Through my headache. All right, getting close, guys. Getting close. What are your favorite pizza joints out there? What do you guys think? Let me know. Hit those comments down below. Dude, Twisted Metal, why has it been so long? It's a great question, dude. That's a really good question. A couple live streams ago, I threw out my Mr. Grimm commentary about how I used to roll. Someone talked about Twisted Metal 2, and I started talking about my boy Mr. Grimm and Glass Cannon throwing that screaming skull, that scythe, that special, dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, I feel like if you're gonna be PlayStation, you really like, especially with the renewed interest in car combat games. Or just car games in general, right? Like even like your Rocket Leagues, the world will play a role in this. Bring back Twisted Metal, have a full-fledged single player, like you always did, where you have Calypso in there and you've got all the different, all the different the characters in there, and then they win, they get their own little cutscene at the end, all that good old school stuff. Throw in some mini bosses, Mortal Kombat style, but instead of Motaro, you're rocking like Warthog, or who was the dude? Oh my gosh, who was that like tank dude that you would fight? Anyway, do that same type of thing, but then do a battle royale Twisted Metal. How has this not happened? Seriously, how is this not happening? It needs to happen. It needs to come back. All right. Yeah, dude, I don't understand why it's not a thing either, Brandon. It blows my mind, dude. I thought it was like such low-hanging fruit. So like same thing, like I think my most disliked video to date, even though it's got a couple thousand views on it, is my opinion on them just doing a remake of Metal Gear Solid. And my point was like, dude, we already know, everyone knows the story of Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, you got your younger gamers and stuff who maybe don't, but for the most part, we've seen that song and dance. Right, we've already had a full-blown remake of Metal Gear Solid already on the GameCube in the GameCube in Twin Snakes. And instead of doing a solid Snake origin story or an origin trilogy, which I thought was so obvious, like if you're gonna bring Metal Gear Solid back into the fold and you're gonna bring Solid Snake back in, how do you not remake the first two Metal Gear games and make them into a trilogy? I just don't understand it. To just come back and be like, oh, we're just gonna remake Metal Gear Solid again. I don't know, man. I just thought it was low-hanging fruit. That's what I thought for Twisted Metal as well, but Twisted Metal's been gone. Oh my God. When was the last Twisted Metal that came out? I thought it was Black, but I think there was just straight Twisted Metal in like 2012 or something. Somebody fact-check me on that. I think it's been like a decade, and that game wasn't nearly as good. That was kind of like a half-hearted effort, unfortunately. Oh, dear Lord, guys. That says Detroit Meaty Deluxe. That's happening. I mean, that's when in Rome, huh? All right, here we go. We're also going to put in an order of breadsticks. Oh yeah, it's happening. All right, view our order. Oh snap! I got enough points for a free pizza. I'm not gonna call him in now. That'll take another 10 minutes as I try to, in my inebriated state, as I try to roll through two more menus, which I clearly can't handle. let's just go for broke here and just pay straight up. I love how there's like 4 screens of, do you want to add an order of this? And I'm just like, no, like just take me to the checkout screen. They're like, but there are brownies. I'm like, I know there are brownies, but there are sides of garlic. Or maybe I'll have a side of garlic. But there are cookies. Just leave me alone. Like, this is like GameStop in digital form. Make sure this is well done. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what's going on right now, guys. I'm excited. You got bacon, Italian sausage, crispy cubed pepperoni. No. We're gonna add straight pepperoni on top of that. I'm looking for those pepperoni bowls, right? So that when it bakes, it forms an upwards bowl that captures that grease. I've been talking about that an awful lot tonight. Please bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. There it is. Yeah, I'd be okay with Twin Snakes being re-released, but don't remake it again. Yeah, no, it's the second time they've remade it. If they're going to bring Metal Gear Solid back, just do it right. I mean, like the last time we saw Snake, it was old Snake, right? And everyone is like, this is hard to watch. Like, watch him going out like this. And yet, we still have his origin story coming out of the Green Berets, heading into Foxhound for the first time with Big Boss, quote, Big Boss. If you guys know, then you know. But Big Boss as his commander-in-chief, infiltrating Outer Heaven. That would also naturally connect. So you get like the young Solid Snake in there. You get to tell his origin story. You get to see my boy Frank Yeager, who's on these streams and always commenting on my videos, and also top tier royalty like Swasti and Harbo and a number of others. Get to see him when he was Gray Fox and Solid Snake, their relationship before he gets turned into the Cyborg Ninja and all that stuff. You know, it just naturally connects back to the last time players played a mainline entry, which was building up Outer Heaven, playing as, quote, Big Boss. Again, if you know, you know. I just don't know how you miss that. I just don't get it. It's just that, and that's a cash cow too. That's just a total cash cow. Come on. What's going on, Devin? Welcome to the stream, man. It's been a great stream. I appreciate you joining, man. Good to see you as always. Also, royalty. Devin is my boy. You're my boy, Blue. Playing a little bit of Hades here. I'm going to run to the bathroom here after I put in this order for pizza, and then we're going to go from there. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here we go. How y'all doing tonight, by the way? How's everyone doing? Hit those comments. Sorry, it's still taking a minute. I got to figure out what I want to do. But I got it now. I'm about to put the order in. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then we're going to run through Hades. And I'm not going to come back into ranting and raving for quite a bit, because we only got about an hour or so left, folks. I'm going to try to make it to 4 a.m. tonight. And I want to spend my last 5 hours just playing whatever and partying a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Eating some food, all that good stuff before we get back to adulting tomorrow. Also, sorry I said the term adulting. It's like it's frustrating to me as tweets. Dude, I hate that term. I'm adulting. All right. Continue to payment. You mean I don't get this for free? You mean I can't turn in my Microsoft reward points for free pizza? I definitely got enough for it. Man, seriously, guys, that Microsoft reward system is like special. It is so cool. It is so natural, and it's so well implemented into everything you do when you're playing games. All right, folks, it took away the PayPal option, so I'm going to run, and I'm going to pay this quick and run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Don't a single one of you leave, because when we come back, we're going to continue this run in Hades with Swasti's pro tips in tow. We'll be right back here on the Arsenal stream, and thank you guys for joining me on a Saturday evening. It's been a blast. See you shortly. Give me 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. 20 minutes later, pizza has been ordered, and we're going to roll through this run and maybe one more in Hades on this stream tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out, as always, right here with BauerKillz on this Arsenal stream. It's been a blast hanging out and spending time with you. Unfortunately, I could only slip away for a few, but I was glad to be able to chat with you. Thanks again for the code, man. Oh, no problem, dude. I appreciate that. I'll watch the rest of the stream later. God bless you too, man. And that's to every single one of you guys who are watching the stream. God bless to you, wherever you are and what you're doing. Thanks for coming in, hanging out for a little bit, Brandon. Even if it's only 5 minutes, man, 30 seconds or 5 hours. Appreciate your time and your support, brother. back to Hades. So we're gonna roll and get a. We're gonna roll through this door and pick up a hammer, which is I think a free upgrade pretty much for a bunch of different things. So I love this. I love this shield ability because it gets you through to the end. I meant to the backside. It allows you to block, but it also gets you through easily to the backside of enemies who otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to that quickly. So it gets you over. It's a good transportation. Good transportation method, but also allows you to block. See me blocking that, and then I get over there, get across those gaps. It's nice, man. It's just a. Right now, this shield is my weapon of choice. Before I start a run, it's the weapon that I want to use the most. I like the sword as well. I hate the bow. Not a bow fan, but maybe the more that I use it, maybe it'll be better. All right, here we go. Daedalus Hammer, Ferocious Guard. After blocking a foe, gain plus 20% damage and boost speed for 10 seconds. That's one I've not seen before. That would be a significant, nice little wrinkle depending on your play style. Whether you're more of a blocker than I am, I'm more of a mover. So your dash strike deals plus 50% damage in a larger area. Your special can strike up to 4 foes before returning. Wow. I like that. I really like that. Which weapon are you finding most fun to use in Hades? I just answered that, my man. So your question couldn't be better timed. The shield. I love the shield, dude, so much. Followed by the sword, and then there's also the bow. But I've really not liked the bow in training, so I've totally and completely held off on the bow using that. So we got 344 coins. Let's go visit Charon. I think also if I get an option to talk with him, I'll unlock a new thing in his shop. I can unlock a new entry in his codex, but it looks like we can't do that. I'm gonna give him a gift because I like Charon. He's a cool dude. Let's give him that gift here.
Charon, you've been such a reassuring sight. I thought I'd offer you a token of my gratitude.
By the way, Dev, this game has got Diablo 3 aspects to it. That's all I gotta say, dude. If you get a chance to pick this up, pick it up, dude. It's phenomenal. Would you normally play this game if it wasn't on Game Pass? I would definitely say that I was not planning on playing it for at least another year. Probably the end of 2020 if it wasn't on Game Pass. But the fact that it was on Game Pass and I could just download and start playing it got it into my rotation earlier and potentially put a totally incredibly fantastic, an incredible fantastic Game of the Year contender in my hands for practically nothing. I mean, guys, think of the things you spend $14.99 on at any given time in a month. You ever, like, I just ordered pizza and it was twice that expensive. I pay half of that once a month and I get access to all these incredible games. It's amazing. So I would say I probably would have picked it up at some point, but definitely not this quickly, and I certainly would not have paid full price for it, because I wouldn't have known it was this great of a game. Or maybe I would have paid full price for it because I heard good things about it. I want to support the developer who also did Transistor and Bastion, 2 amazing games that I love. So I probably would have tried to track it down at full price just to make sure that the people who worked on it and brought us this masterpiece got what they deserve. But it would have been a kind of a leap of faith because without it being on Game Pass freely there and available for me to try, it would have been a leap of faith. And knowing that I don't have to do that with so many titles is really a nice change of pace, especially when we find ourselves with an economy that's just being destroyed by inflation and all types of other things. I won't get political, but it is more expensive to live right now for everybody across the board than it has been in decades. And any type of chance you get to save money is very much appreciated, and Game Pass has absolutely been incredible and beyond worth the value up to this point and then some. It's totally revolutionizing the game. I'll have a dedicated video coming on Game Pass sometime in the next couple of weeks as well. Great question, man. Thanks for asking.
Wait, you don't have to give me something in return. It was a gift. Though
Oh,
you're
snap. What's
insisting,
Sharon
aren't you?
going to give us, man? He's going to give us some, like, decaying skull.
I don't know
Bone
what to say, mate.
hourglass. See the little thing pop up there, so it shows you that we've given him a gift. 15 more conversations with him. Oh, we got a new codex here. Wonder where he finds the time to mill about as sometimes he is prone. His duty as the shepherd of the recently deceased must keep him very busy overall, yet even still he finds the strength, or the time rather, to collect trinkets and sell them back to us for reasons only he could understand. Very cool. Alright, so I can pretty much get all this stuff except for this one. That would fully regain my health, but I'm not really interested in that. I'm going to save my coin, guys. I'm not really all that interested in these upgrades right now. I'm just going to roll through it. I'm just going to roll through.
Oh, hello.
Listen to me, Zagreus. Your mother is long gone.
By the way, I love this. So she's the boss of Tartarus, right? You got the same bosses at the end of every area. Once you get to the last chamber in a given area, you fight the boss. But like every time I fight her, and I see her back in the House of Hades all the time, which is the central hub world as well, you're getting new dialogue. You're getting new story. It's so organic and it's so cool and it's so natural and it just flows out. It's almost like watching a season play out in one of your favorite shows, like, I don't know, Cobra Kai or something along those lines. You just see this great character growth over time and it's natural and it's so well done and it's weaved seamlessly into the entire concept and idea of what a roguelike game is and should be. I just realized I need to put the light on for the pizza guy. Give me 1 second. And boom goes the dynamite.
You're never getting out of here, and even if you did, what hope could you possibly have in finding her up in the world out there?
I've hope enough. Not that it's any of your business anymore.
Your family is here, and so is your responsibility. You're running from yourself.
Maybe.
Though, I can slow you down a bit, I think.
Nope, McGarry, that ship is long sailed. Buzz is catching up to me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying.
We're getting started.
I mean, and the boss design is so cool. The gameplay mechanics and how they work together is the game is so engaging. I've fought her already so many times, and I've beaten her the vast majority of the time. But it's still just engaging. It's fun to play. Even when you know you got the upper hand, it's awesome. This game is so good, man. It's so good, but you really got to play it to be. I get some Titan's blood after this. That's one of the rare items in the game. I just got wrecked. I stood right there. Not what I wanted to see. I really don't want to be losing my health this early on in this round. I'm down to 48, which is not good of 138 at all. This is a bad showing right here. Really don't want to use any of my revives. I get 1 revive right now per run, and I certainly don't want to use it here on the first boss. But what's cool is even when you have a bad run, whether it's inflicted by yourself or you just didn't get good upgrades, or for whatever reason, it's cool that you can still go back to the House of Hades and turn this stuff and pick up and upgrade your character. It's awesome. There we go, baby. There we go. There we go. There we go. God, this game's so addictive. It's so much fun. It's just like, man, like games that just keep the controller in your hand, right? Just because they're just so well designed. Not a good showing though right now. Not a good showing.
I'll ride the wave, nephew.
How did you...
I don't know what just happened, but I did something. And all right, we took her down even though I had to use a special power. I just saw something blinking. That's the first time I've used that. So now when you go back to the House of Hades and you die later, she'll like you'll talk about how you beat her last time, or if you die and you come back, she'll talk about how she beat you. But it's like in a really cool, unique way. It's not just like, haha, I beat you. It's in a way that reveals more about the story and the lore and the world and all that good stuff. It's awesome. But Poseidon just saved my tail there. Hopefully I can get some health going here, make it through a few chambers in this next area, and not have to use this revive this early on. Definitely not a great start to the run, but we got a little fountain here. It's going to give me 28 health, and then this will give me an opportunity to either sell off some of my boons, the things that I've collected for coin, or just simply buy what's available with what I've got now. So here's restores 10% when you enter a chamber. Don't mind if I do. The next boon you find has upgraded rarity 70 coin.
This one.
Don't mind if I do. Your special deals plus 40% damage, which is great because I've been building into that special so far in this run. Let's rock that, and we'll also get still 232 coins to work with here as we move towards the Lake of Fire here. I love this little world map here. So it shows you getting out of Tartarus and moving up into the next area. I forget what it's called, River of Aphrodite or something like that. I got to really power up this level if I want any chance to beat the Hydra here. That's the boss of this domain, Asphodel. That's it. Picked up another 17 health there thanks to that boom. Our RSJ fan says Game Pass is one of the reasons I switched from PS to Xbox, dude. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. It's so fiscally affordable, but like the games that are on there are incredibly great, amazing games. And it's going to become also the way that most AAA juggernauts on Xbox release as well. It's awesome stuff. Get that special out. I love getting them out in the lava and just watching them fall apart. Satisfying. Oh, I hate these Skull Crusher, these guys. Yeah, they're a real pain. They're a real douche. That's not really great. See if we can bait him into landing in the lava. Man, I really gotta upgrade my weapons damage because right now I'm not doing a whole lot of damage for where we are. Let's see what Hermes has to say here.
What's going on there, cuz? Can I call you cuz? Got something here for you. Should make your battles to the death end that much quicker.
Oh, we got an epic in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pick it up. After you dash, briefly become sturdy and move 100% faster. You take 30% less damage and your actions cannot be interrupted by taking... Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's totally the way I'm kind of playing this run anyway, so... So do we want money or do we want a boon? Let's go with, yeah, let's go with a power-up. We got to start powering up our abilities here a little bit. Got to start powering up our abilities a little bit if you want anything to do with these guys. These things, when they die, they drop the bomb upon death, and sometimes I forget it does a decent amount of damage. Let's get that back damage going on. So you get that extra damage from one of our upgrades from that mirror back in the House of Hades. It's a permanent upgrade. I love how that system works in this game too. And it is just taking so much time for me to do any real damage. Maybe I didn't spec out this run good enough, or well enough, or maybe I just didn't. Maybe I haven't had a good series of things to choose from. I don't know. Either way, I know this one's probably not going to be anywhere near as successful as my last run. I'm concerned about what I'm going to do once we get to the boss of this domain. Let's see what we got here. The big Heartbreak Flourish. Special deals more damage and inflicts weak. Signs aid. Your call makes you surge into foes while in per. Yeah, we'll stick with Heartbreak Flourish.
Sharpen my senses.
Let's go to Sharon's shop here. I guess I could get a key there, but I'd rather take a look at his shop. Got plenty of coin here. Let's see what we can trade it in for. Thank you guys again for hanging out tonight. It's been a really good stream. We're gonna end here. I think we're gonna, after this run, I'll probably shut down the stream. It's been almost 3.5 hours. So I'm just glad I was able to get this done in place of last night's stream here tonight. There we go.
Thank you, mate.
55. Guys, that's right there what I'm talking about. I suddenly feel better, but I really do need to start getting some upgrades. Let's examine this here.
The searing flame and ashes of the river Phlegethon mean nothing to the ferryman Charon, who travels all the waters of the underworld bearing the dead, the damned.
Guys, maybe I'll sit here and eat a piece of pizza and talk with you afterwards. We'll see how that goes.
I do enjoy dead people's fineries.
All right, we can talk to Sharon and see what he's got to say.
Me any insight as
he's
to
just gonna moan at you. I love
it. Me over on the next infernal island, Charon, mate.
Yeah, Sharon, by the way, buddy, I dig the hat, man.
Not bad, huh? Moving on. Drakens. Easy.
I love that this shield hits so many enemies. It's so helpful. Nectar. So you're just always, as you can see, guys, you're just always unlocking new things to look at and do, and new abilities and new mechanics for the actual game itself, new story. It's just you're always you feel like you're always improving. Let's stick with special damage here.
Better blessing.
Zeus upgrade or a Dionysus. I think we're going to stick with a Dionysus here because we've already got Dionysus, and you can check it any time here, right? So we've already got a level 3 here, Heartbreak Flourish. Let's stick there. This might not be Aphrodite. This might be Dionysus. I can't remember. I'm hoping it's the one I already have so I can further stack it, but it's probably not.
I have to say, the Barge of Death is never late.
Oh man, the Barge of Death. Close quarters combat with crystals that keep enemies impervious until you're destroyed and high-level explosives. Yeah, this is always intense. I struggle with it. I'll probably lose quite a bit of it. Get out of there. There we go. So I can only do damage to this dude. Right, once I took out those. See, right there was that little bomb for 10 damage. It's so easy to fall apart on, you know, just not be quick enough. Get him on the wall. Hit him with that special block. Get behind and backstab.
Place is crawling with these.
Game is so fun. It's so fun. It's so fluid too, and man, like, you know, I know the game came out last year, and it's not AAA like AAA graphically, but like the color and the crispness of the graphics and how well they're presented on this TV through this technology is something else.
In the name of Hades.
Oh, here we go. So it is Aphrodite. Let's further upgrade what we're doing now. Your dash deals damage where you end up inflicting weak. That's epic. After you take damage, damage foes around you to inflict weak. Any health chamber rewards are worth more. Bonus life gain plus 36%. So I haven't used my revive yet for half my life. Let's roll with this passion dash epic. Spread it out over the course of this run and just continue to reinforce where we can, and hopefully the damage will match up with some other things. I just took some real stupid damage there, stepping into the fire, because I feel like, yeah, why can't I stand?
Slam dancers.
Why can't I stand involved and not take damage? Some slam dancers that can take lighting me up right now. Gotta stay away from them. These guys are difficult at close quarters. You also have to be careful with your dash, because there's a cooldown on your dashes. You can get additional dashes as well, because this game just seems to have an endless amount of abilities to mix and match. Different ways you can approach your run. I've heard stories, and I can totally already understand people getting like a platinum in this game, right? And then just coming back to using it. It's just awesome. So many different ways to play it. I need to get some abilities to take out armor quickly, because right now anyone that's armored is giving me a hard time. Taking that stupid 10 damage by just standing there. Way too much damage there. Really unhappy with the amount of damage we took there. Let's see. All right, we'll take another. So we can either go to Sharon's shop. We can go and let's go and upgrade. Let's go and upgrade Aphrodite here. Hopefully this isn't the last chamber before the boss, because I will not do a good job if that's the case, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Oh, we just get it straight up.
In the name of Hades.
Weak afflicted foes are more susceptible to damage plus 10%. Well, I'm doing multiple attacks that keep my enemies in the weak phase, so that sounds like it would be a pretty good thing to do. I think we're about to fight the boss, and this is, guys, where I think this run is going to end. I should have probably taken the Sharon shot, but I'm just not doing enough damage right now. All right, let's see how it goes. Don't get me wrong, I love the option menu, and I'm sure that it'll start me back in that chamber, but I totally did not mean to do that. I just got too excited and hit the button too quickly. Dear Lord. Let's see where it puts us. Probably right back in the beginning of the chamber, yep.
Big one, huh?
Jeez. Well, I was off to a good start there, but let's see if we can replicate it, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? I'll try not to geek out. Bone Hydra. Let's do this. Get impervious. Get you guys off out on the field so I can knock them down there as well. Then we're going to get these heads that pop up, and they don't mess around. They all do their own attacks. They're all armored. Yeah, this is going to be tough, guys. This is going to be really hard. I don't think I have the power. I don't think I have the power to take them down. I'm taking too much damage in the process, which is fine. It's good if we lose here, which is going to happen. Listen, it's going to happen. But when we lose here, it's okay. Every run in this game matters. You get stuff for every run. I'm lighting myself on fire. This has gone downhill awfully quickly, hasn't it? I've only beaten this boss once and it took everything I had, and I was much more powered up than this. I'm about down at half life here, but I'm hurting. I am hurting. Go. We're calling Poseidon. Now, maybe I should have called him before, or when I was, yeah, this is where it gets just insane. The amount of heads here, the amount of damage they take is just unbelievable. I do love that my shield hits 4 of them. That's definitely quite helpful. Oh, there we go. Poseidon, whatever that call is, just pretty much said, there we go with the death defied. Now I got 82 health right now. If I go down, I'm done. Which is what's going to happen. Let's be honest, guys. That's what's going to happen. There's too much on the screen right now. In my current state, I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of it. There's just so much happening. I needed more, I desperately needed more attack power. I just don't have the ability. Looks like this new call ability is significantly helpful. It's the first time I've been able to use it. I think it was a new feature I unlocked the last time I was in the house. Holy crap, that's doing a ton of damage. I was doing multiple attacks there. Yeah. Come on, baby. Come on, come on, come on. He hits the ground 4 times. I love the shield so much. We got him, we got him. We're going to get him, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get him. And that's fine because, yeah. All right. It's intense, man. It's intense. It's fun. It's good stuff. Second time we've taken him out. So this will give me a chance at least to get to the next area, maybe pick up some more resources before my inevitable death to bring back to my central hub and upgrade some things and allow me to dive just a little bit deeper next time. This game is digital crack. That's what, it's just so addictive. It's so fun. It's so brilliantly put together, and the execution of everything is just so on point. I've not seen a single frame rate drop. Every run has been different. I've not seen a single flaw with this game since I popped it in 7 or 8 hours back. It's something else, man. It really is something else. And we got some decent coin here. Let's see what we're getting offered at
keep me alive.
Sharon's well here. Stefan Gaman says, Psychonauts 2 is a game I would normally not play, but since it's already on Game Pass, then I decided to play it, and I love it. I'm so glad, dude. The original's on Game Pass, too, and my understanding is it holds up incredibly well to this day. I'm going to play through that before I play Psychonauts 2, but that game, from all intents and purposes, is going to be up for Game of the Year, and it's going to be a game that released on Game Pass for essentially free of charge. It's incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Replenish one use of Death of Defiance, which is that ability to revive yourself with half your health. That is so clutch. That is so clutch. That's going to extend our run here. Let's see if there's anything here worth getting rid of. I don't think there is. We're going to keep what we've got. Let's roll through into the third area here, into Elysium, where the best souls, the best mortal souls head to. Kind of the Greek version of heaven, right? So this is where enemies start to get real serious. Real serious. I really had issues here when I came here last time. Let's go through and pick up a Daedalus hammer. That'll be clutch here. These guys are no joke, but you got to take out their spirit form when they come back. Can't reach them, so it's just there we go. Guys are eating my pizza here. Give me 1 second. Just took a ton of damage there from these. There are these environmental traps there with those spear dudes. I'm not used to it yet. This is only the second time I've been in this area of the game. Okay, my pizza's here, guys. I'll be right back. Yo, words can't express how clutch this pizza is right now. It's that Detroit pizza where the sauce is on the outside from Pizza Hut. And look at the little pepperoni bowl. I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't, but I'll just peel this one off and show you. As I was talking about, all excited about it. We got the pepperonis forming the little bowls. And it's beautiful, man. Thank you guys for hanging around while I eat this slice. Then we're going to get right back to Hades and finish up this run and we'll end the live stream there because it's been almost 4 hours and my throat can't take it anymore. I'm talking too much. I'm starting to lose my voice. Yeah, this game is S tier. Everything people have been saying about it, how great it is, and how you don't understand until you play it, is so true. But I think it's even better than that because of some of the unique things they're doing with how they're approaching the narrative and how they, essentially how the developer tells their story. It's so unique. It's truly different. It's really something else. Very innovative and executed beautifully, just beautifully. All right, that's good enough for now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back. You can see in that chamber, I struggle quite a bit. My damage just isn't keeping up with the enemies. I'm getting crushed, just crushed damage-wise every time I take a hit. So we'll see where we end up here. I've made it to the boss of this domain, the last run, which is actually 2 enemies. And there's no way. I think even if I get significant upgrades this game, I don't think there's any way I'm gonna get past them. But let's enjoy this last run here. And thank you guys again for hanging out right here on BauerKillz Arsenal stream. Much appreciated. Hope you're all having a great Saturday and weekend out there. Let's do this. Controller is vibrating like crazy. It's just saying, dude, you're getting wrecked. Your bull rush gains a power rush that deals plus 500% damage. Oh yeah, I gotta use that. 500% damage. That's no joke. Oh, let's go see if we can't get some help. I hate these chariots, man. They do so much damage that they have to make you. Backstabbing that wall slam in there. Took 13 there. Yep, there's that divide. 19 damage every time I get touched by that chariot.
Yes.
A little too late there. Plus 25 max health doesn't help me. I'm only rocking 88 of 188. Go to the exclamation point. I love too how they add unique narrative arcs in random rooms that occur throughout the game. I've never seen this place before, so this is new.
Amid Elysium's moss-covered chambers, carved of stone, stand untold numbers of eternal monuments in tribute to the greatest heroes which mortality can offer, there to honor them in life as well as death.
This place is near as gloomy as the house.
Well, go on, stranger. Plenty more shades looking to fight with you out there.
Oh, who's this dude?
I'm just passing through. You seem less warlike than the rest. May I ask your name, sir? I'm Zagreus.
Names are there to be forgotten, stranger. You should
I like that line, names are there to be
May
forgotten.
the fates favor your journey. But just in case they don't.
Oh snap, what are you gonna give me, man? You gonna give me some Fig Newtons? No Fig Newton option, but we do have Kiss of Styx Premium. Replenish all uses of Death Defiance. Jeez. For the next 5 chambers, restore 30% when you enter a chamber. That might actually be better at this point. We're gonna restore Death Defy.
Whatever suits you.
Patroclus. Oh, snap. Patroclus. He's, if you guys have ever seen Troy, that's the dude, that's Brad Pitt's cousin or whatever. He gets smoked. Learn more by having conversations with Patroclus 4. So after I talk with him and come across him on a random run 4 more times, and I'll learn more about him in his codex entry. I love that, man. I love it. Can either go to Sharon's shop. Let's go here and we'll upgrade our business a little bit more. Got a little skull next to that, which means it's going to be a harder than normal dungeon, or chamber rather. But it is what it is.
Want me to pick a favorite?
Or I guess not. Never mind. Yeah, let's roll with this one.
What choice was there, really?
All right. Good stuff. Reduced damage from tote. Oh, that's a good one. Plus 10%. Your weak point effects are more potent. Yeah, we're going to take damage reduction. So we can't get a higher level of...
Betrayal, little Hades. Of all my nephews, you should know better than this. Or perhaps I should. One of us at least.
Sorry, Poseidon.
I'm sorry, Uncle. Let's give him a show then.
Gosh, these enemies have so much armor and so much health. Oh, they got that 500%. Over and over. I am getting smoked. What is this?
This is awkward.
This is awkward. I'm using a Poseidon gift in the Poseidon chamber, and they use that as an opportunity to add unique dialogue. I love it. Oh, it's good stuff. That's good stuff. Straight up, that's cool. Guys, this might be the chamber I go down. I just didn't have enough strength in this run to really do anything significant or something. But that's fine. Like, you know, just like any other roguelikes, you're gonna be, you know, you're gonna have good runs and bad runs and all that stuff. And this is still a really decent run, because this is only the second time I've been in this area of the game. I just know that I'm not gonna be probably getting back to the boss again.
Sorry.
This chamber's no joke. This chamber is absolutely insane. About to die, guys. Which is fine. The amount of time that it takes. There we go. All right. Man, considering what happened on that run, I'm very pleased with that. Mark Lanau. Yes, a lot happening on the screen. That was a rough chamber.
Well.
But I love coming up out of the bloodbath there, and then just you're right back in your hub, and you know you need death to progress a lot of these things anyway. Just it actually makes death enjoyable. It's so cool. How many games can you truly say that about, right? New dialogue here.
Oh, hey there, Dusa. How's your endless toil treating you?
Mr. Hypnos, do you maybe think that you could, you know, keep an eye on the procession line before Lord Hades, like you were supposed to?
Oh, that's no problem. I can definitely do that. I'll just add it to the list.
Good, then. Glad we had the chance to chat. Now, maybe get some sleep or something. You look pretty beat.
Get on it, Hypnos.
And by the way, I love it how when you're back in your hub area, it's a small thing, but I love that I can now walk around at whatever speed I want rather than having to just run or stop. That's something I kind of wish carried out into the other world, but not a big deal. By the way, the reverb that they use for your dad here, Hades' voice, is like so perfect. It like fits his character so well. Listen to this.
What did I tell you, boy? Ever wasteful of your time and mine. How fares my underworld, hmm?
I don't know how you can stand it.
Well, at least some things are running smoothly still. Next you go to die again, do give the tortured souls out there my warm regards.
Your dad is straight up a dick in this game. He's a good dude, but he's also a dick. I don't know if I'd say good dude. He's a character. Let's put it that way.
Hey boy, just me again. Here to report, it's pretty dangerous
Always
out there,
talk
even
to
without you
Cerberus.
on guard duty all the time.
And always pet the dog.
The venerable Hound of Hell barely acknowledges the softly spoken prince's platitude, knowing full well the underworld is not as vigilantly guarded as in ages past.
More pets? More pets.
Oh, yeah. All the petting for the win. Love it.
Achilles is off duty.
Achilles isn't here. Okay. So I love that too, depending on when you come back, sometimes the NPCs. This kind of reminds me of like a really cool customizable world hub for like the Nexus from Dark Souls, just cooler, right? You've got like quest lines and storylines that play out depending on what you're doing and where you're at in the game, and sometimes people will be there, sometimes they won't. You know, it's just really just manages to feel unique in so many different ways. I love this too. These house contractors where you can like buy permanent upgrades for different like runs and different deep dives, or you can just buy like, you know, house decor. You can kind of build out your house of Hades, you know, with different furniture and colors and items and different things. Some of them which add new mechanics overall fully to the game. It's pretty sweet. So here's Megara, who we beat in that first boss in Tartarus on the way through. Let's see if they talk about that here.
Hey, what's that you're drinking, Meg?
Nope.
Anything good?
Whatever it is, it's weak. Enough to be mistaken for your blood.
Nice. Well, I'll just leave you to it then.
Leave me alone.
Here we can trade in different things. So your keys you can trade in for, you know, if you have unlocked all your weapons or other things, you can trade your keys in for other rare items there if you need or you want. I love this little chef over here. He's just kind of hanging out doing his thing, you know.
The ancient casks of wine hidden within the recesses of the House of Lord Hades. Few have tasted the intoxicating vintage they contain, and fewer still are permitted anywhere near their vicinity.
Still waiting for the festive occasion when we'll open one of these.
So we'll take one quick gander here, guys, and then we'll shut down the stream. Let's see, can't go up here, of course, nope. So we got 312 Darkstone.
Nyx must be someplace else.
Nyx isn't here either, okay. So we got 312 Darkstone, so we're going to look in our mirror and we're going to look at some permanent upgrades.
Did you miss me?
Unlock talents. Reveal 2 new talents hidden inside the Mirror of Night.
Show me something new.
There we go. So get 10 of them. I'll unlock another 2 to upgrade. So man, maybe I should save up for this second use of Death's Defiance. That might be helpful. Let's see what we got here. Boiling Blood. Deal bonus attack and special damage to foes with your range crystal, and then plus 10% per rank. I almost never use that, so I'm sure at some point somewhere down the road I'll start to use it a little bit more. Infernal Soul, raise your supply of thing for your cast plus 1 per. Okay, that's intriguing. If I can use more of that, that might be worth using. But I'm gonna hang off, and we're gonna use Death Defiance and get a second use of that, and then I'll start saving Dark Stones for some other uses here.
Not even tired, thanks.
7 escapes attempted. I've been foes slain 1,259. That's awesome. Saved 1 minute ago. So just like the Ascent, you kind of get a sense of when the last time was that the game saved for you right at a glance when you go to leave, which is something I greatly appreciate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. What a great session tonight. I'm really glad we got an opportunity to sit down and play. So this is going to be on quick resume. I don't have to worry about it. So I can just simply... let's just simply head out to home here. What an awesome night. Thank you all for spending time here on the Arsenal stream right here with me, BauerKillz. just an absolute blast. Really had a lot of fun tonight. Good times. Played some Ascent. Played some Hades. Wanted to play a little bit of Halo, but hey, I'm making a run towards 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm already starting to feel it. A little tired. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to try to at least make 1, maybe 2. Probably will fall well short of that 4 o'clock, kind of personal goal. I always set the bar way too high beyond where I know I can meet it, but I'm going to sign off tonight. I'm going to go out. I'm going to eat a little bit of pizza and come back and decide something. Maybe I'll probably just play some more Hades. Let's be honest. Might just play some Hades. Maybe I'll run through a couple levels in Halo. Maybe I'll sit down and watch some YouTube or play some Skyward Sword, which I've had a lot of fun playing. If you have a Nintendo Switch out there and you like traditional 3D Zeldas, can't say enough positive things about it. That is also sitting here firmly in my rotation. I just haven't not streamed it much. But it is an incredible game to play. And that's something I could play while I watch YouTube, because you can play that handheld as well. One of the reasons the Nintendo Switch is able to hang around with powerhouses like Sony and Microsoft. Thank each and every one of you guys for all that you do. Thank you for your support. If you want to support my work, share my traditional content, or if you think somebody will enjoy these live streams, feel free to share that as well. That's the best thing you can do for me, is actively share my content out there with, on social media, with video game communities, Reddit, friends, family, all that good stuff. I know it takes some time to share a link. It's kind of annoying, but if you guys do like my work and you want to support it, that's the most important and the best way you can do that. But more than anything, I appreciate all the support you guys have given me, spending time here with me tonight or later if you're watching this back recorded like so many of you do. And for those who also tune in on my YouTube channel, thank you so much. Definitely play Hades and the Ascent if you have an Xbox. They're both on Game Pass. And they're absolutely incredible titles, and I can't say enough positive things about them. Thank each and every one of you. Stefan, no problem, man. Thank you for joining, man. And as always, I'll leave you guys with this. Stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and we'll see you in the next stream. Have a great weekend, everyone.